I look like one of the planets in the background. I'm sure if I could be like a moon, right? If you just cover up my face. Here, I could be a moon in the background. Ready? Oh no, wait, I can do this. Hang on. There you go. Perfect. Great cosplay. Cosplay as a moon in my background. Nailed it.
Six.
Artosis, are you muted?
I'm an idiot. I've been sitting here talking to you guys.
I thought it was my.
And you've been ignoring me.
I was reading the show notes. I'm like, oh, are we not starting yet? I'm like, okay, it's still quiet, even though he said we're starting in 5. So.
Oh my god. Oh my, like literally I was yelling at you guys. I was like, no, because you started talking about it. I was like, no, what are you doing? No, stop, save it. And you kept talking and I'm like, what? They just don't even listen to me.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Oh my
The show
god.
starts in 30 seconds.
I can't believe I'm literally muted for my own damn show. Welcome back, everyone. It's episode number 112 of the Pylon Show. Welcome back, UpATreeZelda. How are you doing after your wonderful performance last week on Pylon Show Jeopardy?
Great. This is the first time I've ever been on 2 in a row. That's it. This might also be the last Pylon Show I'm ever invited back on. So let's do it.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to yell about Twitch and get upset.
Oh, I can't wait. I tuned into your stream and was like, oh, damn, he's riled up about this subject.
Oh, yeah, that's not the right place. That's my natural habitat, okay? Can't do that.
And Nate, you are always you always have some well-formed opinions on things. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome back.
I'm good. I'm excited to be here and talk about some of the more nerdy stuff, I guess. Get into a little bit of the mess outside of just the games.
Yeah. This is kind of an exciting episode, I think, talking about the DMCA and what's going on with all of that. Because, I mean, it seems like the only thing that's being talked about on Twitch right now, to the point where it's already becoming like this meme and stuff, and you know,
it's been a meme for a while now, actually.
Yeah,
it's great. It's good.
Yeah. And before we get started the talk, guys, please do check out patreon.com/The Pylon Show. That's how you can support and, of course, ask questions to our lovely guests, which we'll answer towards the end of the show. Also, we're trying out for a few weeks some different ways to do This Week in StarCraft, so that'll be at the end of the show for this week. We'd love to hear feedback on people, what they like, what they don't like, all that stuff. We're trying to kind of revamp the Pylon Show and just make it even better than it is, which I know people think is impossible, but that's what we try to do. All right. So the DMCA. Okay. First off, what is DMCA? What does this mean?
Do you want to go, Nate, or?
You got this one,
No,
Sal.
just a quick definition.
Okay. So a DMCA strike is or a DMCA request or strike or takedown is basically a request by a rights holder to remove content that has their copyrighted material in it. It is technically speaking a courtesy. So you may hear like DMCA and think like, oh, you have to take that down. You know, you have like this is like, you know, this is the furthest that they could do. It's not actually. So it's important to know going into all of this that DMCA is simply an automated request generally because they're very quick. Like, oh, I scanned through your stuff. You seem to have some copyrighted material. This is ours. Take it down. They can just sue you. Like they can just say, hey, you played our music. We know you have money. We're coming for you. That's going to be $100,000, like, you know, per infringement. And they'll go to court with you. Like, for example, like the biggest streamers, this might happen to. So it's important going into this that you know that DMCA is actually a courtesy. Like the music industry does not have to file them. They do not have to automate them. They could just see that you're playing Rap God and be like, we got him, boys. And they just go after Shroud. It's not a problem for them.
Yeah. It's from 1998. That was when this law was
Peak
made
internet.
because like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is what it stands for, and it was basically just like, hey, the internet's becoming a thing. Like I mean, yeah, I guess at that point I was 5, so I don't know too much about the internet in 1998, but the general premise of it is basically designed and built to prevent people from using the intellectual property of other companies, like profiting off of them and that sort of thing. It kind of lives in like a similar vein to like copyright stuff with like, oh, don't pirate, you know, movies. This is don't share stuff that isn't yours.
You wouldn't download a car, would you, Nate?
If I could, I might.
Do you remember that ad?
In
the movie
at the start of
theater?
every
There's
DVD.
like, oh.
It's at the start of every DVD as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody gets into a car, you wouldn't download a car. Like, yeah, actually, I
with a
probably
3D
would.
printer.
Yeah,
now you could
download that so quick. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an explanation of what the DMCA is. Now, the very first DMCA's to hit Twitch happened over the summer.
Yes.
Remember this, right? So
before that, there was they were talking about how they would get 50 DMCA requests a year.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, before the summer of 2020, the music industry would levy DMCA requests at the rate of like 1 DMCA request for all of Twitch a week, pretty much. And this was true to the entirety of like Twitch's history. But in the summer of 2020, I think it was in June.
Yeah.
So they were, because we think the internet seems like the problem with doing this show now is it's been a couple weeks. So there's been a lot of changes. Like the situation's changed a lot. There's been a lot of articles. It's hard to like keep your head straight about all the stuff that's happened. But I kind of remember that time. It was in June, I think. And I was like sitting outside, and then I saw one tweet, and it was like, I just received a DMCA request about blah 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 song and blah 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 clip, and I was like, from like 2017, and then I saw another tweet, and I was like, oh shit, and I didn't even read anything. I just started deleting clips. Like I ran to my computer, and I was like, I just started like hammering them. I deleted thousands of clips that day. But yeah, so it was one particular day. I can't remember someone in chat might have it. But they basically went through, there was a section of time when Twitch was not applying Audible Magic, their software that they used to check for copyright, to clips. That was like 2017 to 2016 to 2018, somewhere in that range. And they so all these clips were there with copyrighted music, you know? Someone would be playing like a game, screaming at their mom, and then, you know, Eminem would be playing in the background. Oh, you're DMCA'd now. Like, this is our song. You know, people are definitely going to watch this clip for the Eminem track in the background. You know, you got to take that down. It's not okay. And they went through everybody. Like, they tore through. They must have saved them up. They hit so many people that day. It's actually insane. Twitch had to pause the DMCA request. They have to literally say like you can't file anymore. We have to give people a chance to catch up.
Now,
That's how messed up that was. It was really bad. They weren't expecting it either. Twitch had no idea because Twitch doesn't have to help them. That's another key factor as well in the whole thing.
why doesn't Twitch have to help them? It seems like they could get sued. They're making money off of this as well.
Okay, do you want to keep going, or Nate? Do you got this one? I don't want to hog the floor. And be a good denizen of the show.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different ways that it works, right? So, internet websites that people host content on are actually protected by the Digital Millennium Copyright Act from lawsuits for content that they upload, as long as the website that is allowing users to upload content to it, so like Twitch or YouTube, as long as they are acting in good faith towards the requests of people whose content would be stolen, right? Like in a DMCA sense. So if Twitch literally does nothing and doesn't respond to them at all, they could sue Twitch, because Twitch would be acting in bad faith and they would open themselves to legal, recourse. But because it goes on to the creators, that the DMCA system in place, like if you've heard of like YouTube's 3 strike system, it technically isn't required. There's not a rule set that says 3 strikes and you're out. Theoretically, a DMCA request could come in for anything, and they could just ban you and then figure it out later, or not figure it out later and say, good luck, trying to sue us. So that's like a whole big part of what comes into this, because as Sal was saying, they implemented a system to mute music that they detected on VODs, because VODs are easily accessible. You can click to VODs pretty easily from anybody's stream. Clicking to somebody's clips, generally a little bit more difficult. That was their flashy thing that people would post on Twitter. You don't want to mute those, right? There was a reason to have that going out. So those ended up being the big target point for a lot of these, because they became more exposed and more visible as they built the system out to navigate clips on Twitch. And yeah, a huge part of this mess has to do with that, because Twitch is not legally required to build a system that facilitates dealing with this type of stuff. They just never did. So nothing exists in any way for a user to be like, oh, what content do I have that's been flagged, but not DMCA requested? Like, you can't do that on Twitch. Nothing exists for you to be able to specifically see that if you're worried about this type of thing. There's no built-in system for like refuting claims or putting in like proof that you have licenses for things. So one of the big reasons why this mess blew up so quickly is because there's not really a lot of information, even for people who are broadcasting. I received an email over the summer where they're like, hey, we detected that you had this thing, and we just got a bunch of DMCA requests in. We've deleted it for you, so we don't have to tell you what it was, which obviously is the most ambiguous, least possible amount of information that you could ever give to somebody, because I've...
you did something wrong. We're not telling you what it is. It disappeared.
Yeah. So that's a whole can of worms on its own. Yeah. But the other thing, like Sal was saying, is that people it's probably something older, because like I know that I've been playing like a lot of stuff that either isn't on that, or like not big label type music, but a lot of what people have that's getting hit is older stuff. But if like you don't even know if you got hit over the summer. And they're like, oh, we deleted it for you. There's no possible way for you to know anything at all about what it was, how recent it was, anything at all.
So that thing that he's talking about, where basically the DMCA like rule, how they actually protect Twitch, is it's called safe harbor. So basically, you can be a platform or a publisher. And if you're a platform, you're protected by safe harbor, which means that you as a platform are not responsible for the content on your platform. So like the reason that people could say like stupid, racist, hateful shit and they get in trouble and not you as like Twitch, the platform, is because you're protected by this. It gives platforms the ability to build out their platform and manage the tools and stuff without having to worry about the content that goes on it. If they ever lose that safe harbor status, they become a publisher, which means they're now responsible for absolutely everything that is said or done on their platform, which means that they basically will cease to exist, because they'll get hit with lawsuits for everything that could ever be sued, because there are so many angles to do so.
Yes.
That's if a platform that loses, I don't think there's ever been a platform to lose safe harbor and survive.
That makes
To my
sense.
knowledge, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little bit confused here, right? So
Okay.
the first set of strikes from DMCA happened
Mhm.
in June.
Yep.
And then it felt like it was very quiet for a while, right?
Yeah, because they paused it. So they wanted to give
that's why,
basically
because it was an actual pause. Because I was like, they just
They got, like,
stopped and then
DDoS.
start again. Did everyone get good for a few months and then bad again?
No.
Just think of it like a DDoS. The system was so overwhelmed, they literally had to bring it down so that they could go through what had came in.
Well, it's
Gotcha.
not just that. Like, there's also this other thing that kind of happened here where Twitch had to decide like what they were gonna say to streamers. Like, you guys have all these clips. What are you guys gonna do about it? Because this is my analogy, and I've been working on it a little bit in my head coming into this. Twitch is kind of like a used car shop where like every car is stolen. Like, and now you think like, okay, so the used car guy who owns the shop doesn't need to ask where you got the car, and if the cops come, they'll take the car, and you won't get in trouble, so you're fine, right? And I guess that's okay if it's one car out of 100. They take the car, another car comes in, you're good. But it's a problem when every single car gets taken all at once, and you're just a guy with a shop and no cars. Like, and that's Twitch's problem here, which is that Twitch is built on copyright infringement. Like, we're actually in a rare place. Blizzard has said, as long as you're not paying, like, as long as people don't have to pay to see your content, like paid subscription stuff, like they don't have to pay to see it, you can broadcast our game. That's actually rare. The vast majority of games are not. They're violating copyright by streaming them. It's just that the copyright holders don't go after you. Like, that's the only thing preventing them from actually just DMCAing you right then and there, right? So the Twitch had to kind of decide, like, okay, so what's our play here? Like, what do we tell people to do? And their actual response at the time, which a lot of people I know and a lot of people on the internet told me that I was like, oh, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Their response was delete all your clips, delete everything. They said that, and of course, like, I was like, well, I mean, I just used my brain. I was like, okay, so if they manage to go through all these clips, they're gonna do it like forever, and you get 3 strikes and you're dead. And there's no way to interpret that for Twitch because at the time they weren't even talking about it. It's an optional thing. The number of strikes you have to get and how long they last is optional. It's not. It's Twitch's decision. The law doesn't actually say how long these strikes need to stay on. Twitch chooses. So not only did they choose then not to change the strike length, they actively still haven't changed it.
What is the strike length?
3. There's indefinite.
Oh wait, no, you mean like you get 3 strikes and you're out?
3 strikes and you're fucking
That's Twitch's position, yes. And
but
the
Twitch's
strikes don't
current
expire.
position.
Wouldn't every single person that's gotten a strike get 3 strikes instantly? Because you're playing more than one song.
Welcome to the last couple of weeks.
Welcome to the reality of the situation, Artosis.
Yeah.
And there's no way for you to tell the system. For example, here's a really good example. Let's say you put your phone next to a blender and hit Shazam. Do you know what comes up? A Skrillex song. That's real. So let's say, okay, you're playing StarCraft 2 and your Marine shooting sounds like a fucking Skrillex song. And there's no way for you to tell Twitch, hey, guys, I'm playing StarCraft. Skrillex is all over this bitch. Like, there's no way to say that. So what's going to happen is you're going to get DMCA'd every time your Marine fires. Okay? And then you're going to get banned. Of course, you can fight the DMCA request and you'll win because, obviously, a Marine is not Skrillex and you're okay. But there's been I've been following the partner Discord. People have been banned for 13 days without a response.
So people have been banned for DMCA then?
100%.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes, it's happening quickly. Some
and
big people as well. Big
Like
people
blow
have
your
been
mind.
hit.
who big has been banned for it?
I've heard that I think
Voyboy got banned.
Voyboy, right? And some
Yeah.
people have the power to come back from the dead. Obviously, if you're that big, from what I've heard, he's back. I know Summit got into something with that as well.
Yeah,
His
he has
name
3
came up.
strikes.
Yeah, and he's not banned because obviously,
Yeah, he's
you
not
know,
banned.
So
Well-
there are people who still exist above the system, but there's a lot of smaller people that that probably don't immediately get the same notoriety for being banned that are getting cold or whatever, reaped, whatever the word is, just bringing the scythe over the hay.
I'll tangent one. I'll tangent one last thing. Actually, I was gonna, but then Artosis started talking. I was like, oh shit, and then I forgot. Keep going. You're up.
But okay,
I
I'm
totally
just
forgot.
here's what I'm confused about. Anyone who plays music on their stream
Yeah.
is playing music, so it's more than one song. So if you get any strikes, you have 3 strikes because
Yeah.
you'll have 3 songs on there, right?
Well, I mean, it also depends because one of the other things is we have not reached like YouTube level of you play it and you're gonna get like insta smacked.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes, anybody who's ever tried to upload on YouTube that forgot to not put a song, you're gonna have the notification that, hey, we found this in your video and we're gonna do this so that you don't get DMCA'd.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll like take a cut of the money that you're gonna make from it, etc. Like a lot of people have heard about that. Those systems are not quite as precise yet, right? Like I don't think has anyone had like a live takedown without having VODs up yet?
Not yet. The technology's there, but we have to actually rewind to really understand how big Twitch's fuck up is here. How badly did they really drop the ball? We got to pull it back because in 2014, YouTube was being sued by Viacom. Okay, and part of the only reason YouTube is still alive today is that they struck a deal with the music industry where they would build out this massive multi-million-dollar content ID system to basically take the money from content infringement and put it in the rights holders' pockets. That's why if you play a song and it gets content ID'd on YouTube, okay, that money, all of it, if I have a 4-hour video and 10 seconds belongs to Eminem, all of that money goes to Eminem. It's genius implementation, truly, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, it was built by the people with the money and the power, Sal.
Right, correct. So they struck this deal because they realized like, oh shit, we won't survive. Like they will sue us into oblivion and we won't make it. So
But wait, do they not have safe harbor? Or
they do. They have safe harbor because they built content ID.
Yeah. Imagine if you had to hire enough individual specific people to manually look over and review every single possible instance of having that clip. I mean, I don't even think they would, whatever money they do make, they wouldn't be making any money if they hired, however many people they would need to do that, which is a part of the problem because automated systems have a whole lot of flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. Like the Marine gun sound.
Yeah. So, and it's important to bring this up because when that happened, like I, for one, took a principled stance not to upload to YouTube because the original content ID system was brutal. Like people were claiming shit that they had no right to claim all the time. It took a long time for them to get it right, and I didn't like how they were doing it. And I'm that kind of person. Like if you're screwing over all your creators, like I don't want to support that. And I thought, Twitch, they're better than that, right? Yeah. I regret taking that stance more than I've regretted anything in the last like 6 years that I've done. Because Twitch literally, like, my analogy for this is that a glacier, because Viacom started that lawsuit in 2007. They watched a glacier like nearly run over YouTube and they laughed. And now that glacier is on their doorstep and they're like, how did it get here?
Who could have possibly predicted this happening?
I couldn't possibly have guessed. I couldn't see it coming. What are we supposed to do? And the glacier's about to run them over like at the rate of, 1 foot a year. But it's going to show up, right? The music industry always gets its man. 100% of the time.
Mhm.
And they should have known. That's the thing. Like, you can only play this, the creators should know better, don't play the music. You can only play that bullshit for so long before all the creators look at you and they're like, dude, they solved it 6 years ago. The fuck were you guys doing?
But
Like,
doesn't Twitch then have to build out like the same system
you'd think.
as?
Yes.
But if that's how YouTube got safe harbor, how would Twitch have safe harbor without doing the same thing?
Well, because they haven't been sued yet. The music industry didn't know.
And the thing is, they have for the as far as the safe harbor thing goes, the important thing to keep in mind is it's about bad faith towards the people that are filing these claims. Right. So all they have to do right now, while they have nothing in place to actually deal with this situation, as long as they just ban everybody that gets 3 requests, as long as they just ban all of them, then the music industry can't argue that they're acting in bad faith. Because like, okay, yeah, you're banning these people and deleting their stuff, which leads to, as I was saying, there are still manpower issues because they don't have an automated system, and there are a lot of claims coming in. So the situation ends up being that while Twitch will publicly say, yeah, we're working on the false claim stuff and all that, especially we're getting people in banned, there's a lot of people that end up getting left behind. They don't have their stuff reviewed as quickly as other people, they're not the higher tier of partners, right? And it leaves everybody else who hasn't been hit yet with a lot of fear, because I went through and deleted every single clip that I had. I also downloaded and backed them up just in case, right? If there was ever any other way I could use some of them. But if there's something that's in a system backend, because some of this stuff that they were finding was also deleted by partners.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
And that's a whole different part of this. So now everybody just has this fear that at any moment, something that you think you may have already dealt with could just blow up in your face. And because there are so many people being hit by this simultaneously, even if you have a completely rock solid case and for a fact that when reviewed, you'd be unbanned, you did everything by the book, you followed whatever rules they said, it may still take you a couple weeks because there's still COVID going on. There's still the massive issues with Twitch and their whole ad system, which was a big enough problem before this happened. But then adding DMCA on top of that, because it's not just trying to deal with all the streamers, it's that the more takedowns and notifications and whatnot are going to keep coming in, and there isn't a system to process it. So people are just left hanging for individual other humans to come help them. And I would be very surprised if Twitch had several thousand people working specifically to help people with DMCA requests right now.
You want a fun fact? I don't know if you know this, but on Twitter, the guy who developed Twitch support, which is the system that they use for handling DMCAs, he was saying that they haven't updated it since Justin TV. So the system.
Well, that's why we only got
use,
66,000 bit rate too, Sal.
So think about it. They the way that DMCA requests work is that they literally have to give access to companies who want to file them. That's how their system works. So you and I can't file a DMCA request, I don't think. We have to be permitted as companies to do it. So now the floodgates are going to open, because this is why they should have struck a deal. They should have struck a deal because people make their money on YouTube Reacts shit. Everybody with a copyright is going to come for their content now. It's going to happen. When you open a YouTube video and you watch it on stream, do you think that the person who owns that YouTube video can't come and DMCA your shit? He can. They just didn't. They're going to open the floodgates to this problem where you want to play Grand Theft Auto? Forget it. You want to play Guitar Hero? Can't do it. You want to play Beat Saber? Not allowed, because everyone's coming for their copyrighted material. And now you got a whole other layer. What about YouTube videos? What about Reacts? What about people using emotes they don't own the licensing for? Got a Pokemon emote? Literally everyone does. You don't own the copyright to Pokemon. Want to know, I guess Overwatch and Starcraft are fine, so carbot and stuff, but there are all sorts of assets people are using too they don't own the rights to. This is why the thing that drives me the most insane about this entire thing early on, specifically before the second wave of stuff, was Twitch's throw the hands in the air, it's their problem, not ours. And I'm like, do you guys watch your fucking platform? Because when I look around, all I see are people fucking stealing shit like they own it. And it's everybody. Like, what are you trying to say? That it's not your problem? Like, you have people to pay, don't you? Like, and it's off the back of creators, no? Like, I'm just
And this is and the can of worms gets really fucking ugly once you get to this point, because just in my own experience, I once saw a streamer on the front page of Twitch, big streamer, several thousand viewers watching anime, right? And I'm like, oh, is this person sponsored by they sponsor a Crunchyroll? Do they have like a deal with them? That's so cool. I would love to boot up this show that I'm watching, right? If this service is working with streamers. And I look at it like, oh no, she's just doing it. And I messaged someone who's staff at Twitch at the time, and I'm just curious. I'm like, what do you guys do about this? Like, she's a huge streamer, just literally watching TV. And they're like, well, we don't have to do anything if a DMCA request doesn't come in. And I'm like, so you just don't give a shit, like, at all. As long as the specific holder of this anime doesn't come after them, your stance is we just don't give a single shit at all. And that's another part of this, because Twitch tries to push this off as streamers not knowing what to do. But Twitch at no point, literally ever before this, has taken a hard stance and been like, guys, if we see that you're doing something that we think you're going to get in trouble for, you could get us in trouble for, we're going to try to actively discourage that. And I'm using the most milquetoast language here, because what I'm saying is they would not do even the most absolute bare minimum of saying, don't do that. The only thing is, like, maybe once every 3 years, DJ Weed or someone will tweet and be like, hey guys, don't forget, the music industry will come kill all of us one day. Don't listen to music that you don't own. And then, Slasher will retweet him, and then a bunch of people will be like, oh my God, is this going to happen? And everyone's like, well, no. So, just keep going on and doing that. And, their official stance is, we're not going to do anything at all until someone DMCAs you. So we're not going to tell you what you can't do in the meantime.
So it's kind of important to keep in mind here that not only does Twitch not have to do anything, but they're kind of better off not doing anything, because if they do something, now they're taking responsibility for that content. They're saying, oh, that's content that belongs to the right holder over there. That means we know that it's happening and we're letting it happen, right? Like, if it's happening, it's like, oh, we acknowledge that it's occurring. So the real issue here is that they should have built tools.
They did nothing
to help us. Like, they should have been like, oh, so we see that the problem here is that bots are going through all your content, and they're using the public content that's available, and they're just interpreting it with a bot and deciding whether or not you have this material. How about this really novel idea of just privating the VODs so that the bots can't see them, but they're there still? I've never heard of any platform having a private feature for pre-recorded content. Have you guys? No,
it's never happened.
The technology isn't there. It's not there. It's not there.
Hold on though. Even if you privated it, like you said, and I've read this, that if you delete stuff, it's still on their servers and can still be checked. So wouldn't everything still be able to be checked? Like, everything still exists. You can't delete anything.
In theory, that shouldn't be a thing. So basically, what's happening is that they store deleted content on a public server, and they didn't think that anyone would try and brute force the names of these files. So literally, you can, if you know the stream ID, there's a literal number associated to every stream that's ever happened, and off of that number is every clip that came off of it and every highlight that came off of it. So it's easy to keep track of it. And I assume that they built this system so that if someone is banned, that they have evidence of why this person was banned, but they kept it public. That's a different problem, because assuming the Twitch devs were not ridiculously crazy and that they did their job right, then you could private your VODs and then the bots couldn't find them. So you had time to save them. But I think what ended up happening here is that the music industry was like dropped the hammer, right? Like just dropped the hammer and issued 1 billion DMCA requests, right? And then they were like, shit, if we make a privatized feature, it's going to look like we're hiding it. Like we're letting people keep the content here, right? And we're enabling them. So it's better to say that you have to delete this, right? And this is a hard pill to swallow. Like this is one of those ones that's really hard to convey to viewers, and not because I think viewers are like dumb or anything. I think viewers are actually quite intelligent. Okay, I engage in conversations all the time. I love you guys, but it's hard to explain to people how 6 years of your life and all you've worked for exists on a website in VODs, and now all of that is fucking gone. Like every stream I've ever done is gone. Like my entire legacy is gone. Right? Unless I was uploading to YouTube, every single minute of work I've done that used to be there is now completely gone. It's vacant. It's a vacant slot. Fortunately, I started saving VODs to file like a year and a half ago, so it's not that bad for me. But I know a lot of people, dude. A lot of people whose entire histories, everything that they've ever worked for, even if it was so much as one of their alerts had copyrighted like 3 seconds of copyrighted material. They weren't even violating copyright all the time. Technically speaking, if you have like less than a certain number of seconds of copyrighted material, you're within fair use. Like,
Yeah.
and but they can't risk it. They literally can't risk it. Like the idea that you would be banned over and over and over again for this content, deprived of a job and unable to pay your fucking bills, is too big. Like you just have to remove it instead.
And that's another huge part of it, because Twitch's argument and what they've told people to do is like literally just turn off all sounds. Like you're going to stream a video game, don't play any music at all. Don't play any music. Turn off the game sounds. They're like, don't just check their official recommendation is to read the end user license agreement for every game that you play.
You guys don't read those before you play a game?
And make sure to check whether they say the sound effects. That's right, because companies license those out actually. Lots of things like weapon sound effects. You play games with guns in them. Those get used in a whole lot of different things that could also send a DMCA claim up your ass. And so, I mean, you guys have probably seen me talking about like memes, right? There are people who are meme streaming right now where they just have their microphone on and are making sound effects and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Twitch's angle is, and their side is like, well, 6 years is for you to learn that you just shouldn't have been stealing other people's stuff that whole time. But, not taking into consideration that light usage of certain things, which would not violate people's copyright, right? If you're using even just 2 seconds of something in a certain way is not always going to be in violation of DMCA. There is fair use for certain types of things that allows a lot of different fair use allows a ton of shit to exist that simply could not without it. But the fact that an automated system is going to flag 4 years ago 2 seconds of a black and yellow, and you're like, well, all I did was, had a little funny celebration when I won a game that went like 5 seconds. And you're like, is this really like super stepping on the guy's copyright? Could you argue that this wasn't you playing the dude's whole song? Of course you could. But that's for you to have a conversation maybe with someone about in 2 weeks because you're banned. And that's Jesus. Where, or they're just telling you to literally delete all your shit. Because even if you weren't listening to full songs, few things like that or missed things get marked anyway.
There was a guy on Devin Nash, Dan, who literally, he's an IRL streamer, and he got DMCA'd for like a 50 Cent song because he walked by the club.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Are you fucking telling me people watch that VOD to hear 50 Cent?
No, of course. I mean, that's insane.
Of course not, right? Like, but that's the thing is that like, if you're an IRL streamer, how can you argue that you not to delete everything you've done? There is no way you haven't gone to a coffee shop. You sit down at a coffee shop, you're literally banned. Bye now. What are you going to do? Mute the mic? Like, that's the point of being there. Like at what point, like, where's the line, man? Because they literally tweeted. I was streaming when they tweeted that. They were like, just consider muting the game audio. I was like, do you guys work here? Like, does this Twitch support staff where they ever watch the stream?
That seems incredibly out of
tone deaf.
Like it
Oh!
feels like, I like to just apply the straight face test to everything. And like, for
Yeah.
instance, when I first heard about DMCA and people were getting DMCA'd for playing like Rihanna songs or whatever, I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, I understand.
That makes sense.
It
Yeah.
makes sense to me. I'm like, I try not to play any. It's been at least like I guess a year since I played anything that's like copyright, because it just kind of occurred to me that like, oh yeah, like that could happen, something like that. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just
That's wise.
that could be scary.
Yeah.
But when I hear something like, oh, these sound effects, or like Twitch saying turn off game sounds, like I could
Yeah.
see something like Grand Theft Auto having a terrible time because they've just got all sorts of great music, or Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? Like these are games that have like real soundtracks on them.
Do you want to
But
know?
when it's
Want to
like
know
you should just
a
mute
fun
your
one?
games, I just don't even get it. It's like that.
That it's a rabbit
the
hole.
point
That's
where,
the
like,
problem.
If
Oh,
I was a
bro,
judge and that came to me, I'd be
Dan.
like, "Why the fuck did you bring this to me? You're
Imagine this
wasting
situation.
time."
Well,
Hold
this is another excellent point that we don't have to necessarily go deep on, but Dan, great point. None of those people know shit about anything related to this industry or any of us or what we do, and that's why they side with if it's going to come down to it, right? Generally,
Right.
they're going to side with the guys that have enough money to make the case put you bankrupt if you're going to try to fight against the RIAA as a streamer.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. So Dan, imagine the situation. You're playing PUBG. Okay. You're squadding up as a streamer. Okay. And you've been stream sniped, and I run by you, and through my microphone, I play copyrighted music, and I get you banned. Like you think to yourself
That's insane.
that the game that you play is safe. Listen
Oh
up.
my
If there are
god.
other people in it, you are not safe.
Oh my
Like,
god, yeah. You
there's
could
so-
inject that into someone else's stream.
Dude,
They wouldn't even be able to
there
help
are
you in
so
certain
many
games.
people on Twitter and in the partner Discord with their fucking heads so far up their ass, where they're like, just stop playing copyrighted music. What's the worst that could happen to you? You know? Like, these are people who stream. And I'm like, do you guys realize that stream snipers will literally ruin you? Like,
Yeah.
do you realize that, like,
Yeah.
there are people with like 10,000 viewers right now whose livelihoods have just been destroyed because Twitch couldn't figure copyright out in the 6 years that they had to stare it in the face? Like, yes, everyone's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Like, stop being like, well, just don't play Drake. You know? It's like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not about that.
And people are very rightly upset because the only thing that you're going to hear from Twitch on any of this is turn everything off, be a good boy, don't ever break the law again.
Yeah.
You guys need to educate yourselves because you're all children who certainly don't have any idea how anything in the real world works. We've been good boys this whole entire time by not preparing for this literally at all so that we can save a couple of extra bucks to do God knows what with. Put people in a yacht or some shit for BlitzCon.
So we can make celebrations, bro. So you can have some confetti on your stream, and we take 50% of the cut. Woohoo!
Yeah. Like, it seems that Twitch letting everything kind of go on chaotically would definitely help with the growth of the platform, right? While they can get away with it, just letting people create whatever they want. Obviously, that's the greatest way towards growth.
The problem
and now it
is
feels.
that
The thing is, if a streamer, let's say a streamer gets banned, right? Like, let's say a streamer gets banned for DMCA. It's like, well, Twitch took probably 90% of your ad revenue that you made money on, and at least like 50% of your sub revenue or whatever, and some percentage of bit revenue. So you look at all those revenues that Twitch profited from. It feels like that's a pretty one-sided relationship. Twitch got growth as well as all those percentages, but then a streamer is getting banned. So what's actually
they'll have a hard
happening to
time
Twitch
arguing that they didn't profit off of it for sure.
Well, they did.
Oh, they definitely did.
Yeah, there's not even a question. They profited a lot. Like,
yeah,
I mean, they have a multi-billion-dollar company because it grew through this chaos of content creation.
But I mean, all of this said, so we can probably keep going. There's probably still more that I missed, but it is important to note that they did have a blog post that was sort of useful. I'd say like 10% useful. That came out like 2 weeks ago, Nate. Probably. They detailed some things that were kind of important, and they also left some stuff out that's also kind of important. But do you have any more questions about the main stuff that happened before
Oh,
then?
keep going. I'm
stuff moving?
learning
Okay,
a lot here, and I'm getting shocked.
Yeah.
This is my Artosis reacts to DMCA video right here.
Basically, we're at where we were. Like you could be DMCA'd for pretty. Oh, so before this blog post. Okay, before this blog post, and the second round of clips came out. It took me about a week to realize, like, okay, so streamers are about to have two fundamental problems. One, you can you can't play music that you like, right? You can't have this, and even if you did have the rights to a song, there's no way to tell the system that you do have them. So you're just gonna get DMCA'd.
Mm-hmm.
The second problem, and this is the problem I think a lot of people are gonna have in maybe 6 months to a year, is that everybody is doing exactly the same thing. They're starting in silence, and then they're like, I'll use Epidemic Sound or Pretzel Rocks or Twitch Soundtrack. And everybody's stream is going to sound exactly the fucking same.
Yep.
No matter where you go on this fucking website, you're going to hear the same set of songs. It's literally going to be a soundtrack to the entire platform. You will not be able to escape the shitty dubstep. You will not be able to escape the lo-fi.
Sounds like esports.
It's everywhere. So what I did was I'm deciding to take. I'm basically doing what Devin Nash is like called treating Twitch like an Airbnb. So my VODs are disabled. My clips are disabled. My VODs are sub only, and then deleted within a week. And I asked for permission from every single artist and label whose music I was listening to before. Of those 140 artists or so I reached out to, 50% of them had either given me direct permission through DM or email, and or posted online that everyone is free to use their stuff. This is why I didn't get a DMCA strike in the first place. But this is the last thing I'll add from the old stuff. The reason that I never got struck is because when they were doing the DMCA takedowns for those clips, I thought to myself, I thought like a programmer, and I was like, how are they figuring it out? Because like, what are they doing? And I was like, so they must be going through your clips like just with a script or whatever. And I was like, if they don't have a sub to my channel, they can't see my clips or my VODs, right? If I delete all the clips, they can't see my sub only VODs. So for the time being, you're safe. The API can't let you past it, because if it did, then that would be a violation of the whole system. Anyone could see it. Because Twitch doesn't have to give them permission. So sub only VODs protects you from DMCA. It's why so many people moved on to sub only VODs, because you're safe for now till live DMCA start.
Okay.
So I built this big list of about, I think now I'm at 1,800 songs where all the artists either own the rights to the music themselves, because I listen to instrumental only, and that's kind of helped me. The artists either own the tracks themselves, or I got permission from the artist and the label. So, but I can still be DMCA'd if it happens live. Like, my VODs are still getting muted for, I think, Bureaucratic, who gave permission publicly. And I think that's very important, because you need, as a streamer, you have to decide, am I going to sound like everyone else? Am I going to sit in silence? Or am I going to try and retain some form of identity? And that was the take that I did. Like, I went out and reached out to every single one of them. Right? Oh my God, really? Nate? Oh, this tweet is legendary.
Yeah, I just found that. I clicked on it. Yeah, the link is legit. Yeah.
Nintendo updated usage guidelines for Animal Crossing. Consider yourself warned, creator. You are not allowed to obtain any financial benefit from using the game, including selling your custom design or earning any advertising revenue with the game content.
What? There's fucking Animal Crossing is gigantic.
One of the other things that I was going to bring up is so Artosis, the rabbit hole, right? You know, we're all crazy paranoid people who are worried about other companies deciding that they're going to be a little bit more strict about who's allowed to use their stuff, because we've just been very lucky with video game developers for the most part. But that's stuff. Yeah, I literally just saw this, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to post this in the group, because I felt this was somewhat relevant. This is like serious, you know, stuff like this ends up being big. And
But that's okay, Nate. You can stream
Yeah.
it on Twitch because Twitch doesn't pay out its creators for ad revenue.
That's true.
So
You
fine.
don't earn money off of ads when you stream on Twitch. So I guess
It's okay.
technically it's a loophole.
You don't? I think I
Do
earn
you-
money on ads.
Like
You
$5?
guys-
Yeah, like $5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
1,000 viewers,
Like
$5.
I
Yeah.
said,
I think.
Dude.
I don't
They bought
think
you
I'm
2 copies
legally.
this week. That's nice.
I don't think I'm required to report the
Yeah.
half a penny they give me since they
Yeah,
don't make them.
it's great.
Wow.
Yeah. So stuff like that is terrifying, right? Because the next, and like, obviously not trying to fearmonger, but this kind of leads to a good point that people need to be concerned about this, because at some point, a game company may decide for whatever reason that they either only want to be on,
Yeah.
oh, hey, we have a partnership with these guys and now you're not going to be able to do our stuff there, right? Or you're worried that, actually Atlas ran into this when they released Persona 5 a few years ago, and they were like, guys, we don't want anybody streaming the game past a certain point, or we will issue DMCA takedowns because we don't want spoilers for the game to be available online. And I don't think that they got a lot of public backlash for that, and I don't think they actually ended up DMCAing anybody on Twitch.
No, yeah.
I didn't hear about anything on Twitch. But that's this is the kind of thing that it really sucks, because I am about to say this, but people do need to make sure that they know what they could get hit by. Because as awful as the DMCA is, as outdated and garbage as this law is,
You're
the music
beholden to it either way.
the music industry will never, ever, 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 ever change their stance on whether they would allow people playing video games to have their songs on in the background. The big labels are not going to budge on this. So the only thing that can happen is hopefully some point within a year, I don't know, I'd be surprised if they did it that fast, Twitch eventually implements a system that at least allows people to kind of fight their way through it without having to wait on hold with customer support, or that's a funny joke, without trying to see if the guy they DM'd ever DMs them back when they've got 1,000 other DMs in their Twitter inbox, because that's how this industry really works. And you're like, well, it really is awful, because a lot of the content is super transformative. People's streams are not all. I don't watch any streams that I would ever think to myself, yeah, I only tune in here because I know I can listen to this music, right? Like maybe you have a genre preference that somebody has, but at the end of the day, like there's like a battle for a different time. But until we get to that point where the law itself can actually be changed, people should be fucking terrified, because even if you think that you've fixed it, there's still a possibility that you're excited about this game. Like this new Call of Duty game came out and someone's like, oh, you want to stream the campaign? It's 80s. Enjoy yourself. Getting slapped by every single 80s popular band that exists, because obviously video games use that type of music. Grand Theft Auto, another big example. And I think someone sent me like Cyberpunk, like kind of came out to say that they had all their stuff made for the game and that game should be safe. But now game companies have to think about that, right? Like, do you want to have the potential exposure of blowing up on Twitch? Well, people aren't going to be interested in your game if you have put a bunch of copyrighted music that's going to get their channels deleted in it. So, like how far do we have to go to get to the point where people are even going to be able to do this anymore, right? That's a real big concern for the industry, and it is huge in part to do with, like, this is all super new stuff. There's no case law that exists around someone defending themselves for playing music on a stream. A judge has never ruled that if it's not over a certain amount of volume that it's okay. You can't have it quietly in the background either. That's like almost anything that you're broadcasting, because unless you're literally making it and it's an original idea that doesn't have to be a ripoff. If it resembles something else, they could try to DMCA you for that. That it's turned Twitch into a giant minefield for streamers and an ad field for viewers.
Oh, dude, don't start me on ads. I can only get mad at one.
Sorry. I had to
Give us a month and then we'll come back for ads, okay?
I had to yin and yang it. I'm
let's-
sorry, Sal. I love you.
No, it's okay. All right, listen, my heart rate just spiked up to like 190.
Okay.
I started sweating.
Don't do that Pylon show, Dan. We need Sal alive.
Okay.
It's okay.
We'll save on that one. This is kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah. So do we want to get to where we are Actually, somebody asked in chat, can a musician get DMCA'd for playing their own music? Yes.
Yeah. Didn't the Dragon
Obviously,
Force
they'll be able to
guitarist?
overtune it, but 100%, yeah.
Yeah. The Dragon,
Yeah.
one of the guitarists from Dragon Force was playing
he
his
got
own
DMCA'd.
song on a guitar,
I
and his
think
channel got
the
banned. Or
theory
something.
was he got DMCA'd, but I also think he did something like show his bare ass or something. I don't know. I don't remember what he did exactly.
Okay, well, I didn't hear about that part, but
I think there have
don't
been
show your
musicians
ass
who
on
got
stream
DMCA'd.
either, guys.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but it was an argument in the partner Discord. But
The people that have gotten banned so far, is it like a week ban? Is it a perma ban? What is it exactly? Do we know? Is it different per person? Is it like is there a way back for people? Because I'm sure there's people right now that are like, oh, I've played so much music on my stream, I'm fucked. Like eventually.
Before we get into what happens with strikes now, because this actually isn't public knowledge, to my understanding, I actually know through a source. I don't want to rat him out, but I do know how it works. Like,
okay,
I do know how it works. So, but before we do that, we should get to let's try and keep it in order so that people watching
keep me on track
where we're at now, like what we're kind of at now, and what happened with that blog post that we were talking about. So, Twitch came out and was basically like, yeah, all right, we fucked up a little bit, but we got this Twitch soundtrack thing that you guys can use now, and that's like music that we've cleared. Okay, I put big air quotes over that. We've cleared this music. And this is why I think Twitch is in some serious fucking shit. I think we might all be looking for a new platform in 1.5 to 2 years. And I'll explain that in as soon as I get to the end of this. So Twitch has cleared this music for a Twitch soundtrack. And they also announced that they have other plans. And one of the most important things that they said in the entire blog post, I think it was in like the last paragraph, when they were talking about being able to route music through the same audio channel that Twitch Soundtrack uses. So I'll talk about Twitch Soundtrack now, because it's probably the biggest takeaway. Twitch Soundtrack is basically, I don't know if you do this, Dan, but there is a way with a Go XLR to set multiple audio channels.
Yeah.
So I can say my voice goes here, my alerts go here, whatever. Twitch Soundtrack essentially takes one of those audio channels and it sends it separate from the video.
Mm-hmm.
So two things can happen with that. The viewer can turn off the music if they don't like the music, which is nice. If you've ever been listening to a streamer and you don't like their music, you could play your own and you're good to go. And the second thing that kind of happens with that, oh Jesus, where was I?
Probably about how you can listen to music, but your stream doesn't hear it.
Yeah, that happens too. But there's, yeah. Shit, I don't know why I lost the train of thought. I'm fine, I swear. I'm not upset.
One of the most important things they said was in the last paragraph of the post. Maybe that rings a bell.
Oh, yeah. Basically, yeah. There's a secondary audio channel, and they're like Twitch Soundtrack uses that audio channel. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't get saved to VODs. So basically, people hear this live, right? That's where I was. Thank you very much, Cobra. It's the people hear the song live, they can mute it, and it also doesn't get into the VOD either. So basically, you're safe from any chance of like a copyright strike on post live material. It's not going to happen, and
it's a stopgap.
Exactly.
But they cleared it, so why would what's the point?
They cleared it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get to that in a second. And one of the most important things in that post is that they said that they might allow for other ways to route to that audio channel, which means that you could, in theory, play your own Spotify to it, not end up being in the thing.
I believe this is actually, I saw a discussion about this. I think that feature apparently is being put into OBS.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be a native right now.
It's going to be a native feature. There's already a plugin you can get for it. It's being integrated into OBS directly. But as I said, it's a stopgap, and So just keep going. This is beautiful.
Okay. So here we go. Why Twitch does not look at history and actually read it. Okay, they have said publicly that they have obtained the mechanical licenses for every song on Twitch Sings, but you need 2 types of licenses to play music when you're streaming. You need a mechanical license and a sync license. A mechanical license means I can have no video and I can play my song over the air and you're good. They have that. Perfect. if you have no video on your stream and you play the music, you're good to go. However, if you want to sync up video to the music, you need a sync license. According to the music industry and DMCA and all this shit, you need a sync license. But Twitch literally said, no, you don't. That's it. They said, no, you don't.
So
No,
who
you
do you
don't.
trust? The guys
with
that don't
their-
have
with
your
their
back
Twitch
or the
tunes
company
or
trying to
whatever?
sue you?
Yes, with Twitch soundtrack,
So
they
Twitch
said you
gave
don't
the
need
contract that said it's okay, but it's actually not okay.
it. Twitch, basically, you have, listen, on one side, okay, you have Goliath. And on the other side, you have David's younger brother, okay? Not David, but David's younger brother who can't pick up the sling, okay? And David is like, you need both licenses. And Goliath is like, you need both licenses. And little mini David is standing there looking up like, no, I don't. Like, what are you going to do about it? And Goliath just steps on him and moves on to the next idiot who didn't decide to just cave and get both licenses.
So
That's
that's
it.
for
Twitch
the
soundtrack.
Twitch soundtrack.
Correct. So
That's
if you
the
buy,
fucking weirdest thing I've ever even heard. You can
Yeah.
play it without video, but you can't have it on while you have video?
yeah, so essentially like it's
What?
let's say I had a song and I bought the mechanical rights. I couldn't play it over an ad, let's say. So in the old days, you couldn't buy the rights to use a song and then make a video with it. Like make a movie with it.
Okay. Okay.
You needed a separate set of rights.
okay.
And
But
they've
why would-
been leveraging that law forever. And Twitch is like, well, that's just not how it works. And the music industry's like, it's our job to know that's how it works.
Why would
I
Twitch even
couldn't
release the
fucking tell
Twitch radio or whatever the fuck it's called if it doesn't have that? That like reminds me of the Tupperware you can buy that holds a banana. It's like a banana shaped Tupperware where you're like,
Yeah.
who the fuck would ever buy this? A banana comes in its own package. Why do you need this thing that's shaped like a banana? It's not useful for anything else.
Right.
Yeah. And here's the kicker. Here's the other part of the whole meme is obviously the intent with this product is to give you a DMCA-less musical experience to some degree on your Twitch channel. But having it on, you could still end up getting flagged and hit by DMCAs.
Yeah.
And there's not a way for your channel to just like be whatever blocked from whatever their scanner system that's just looking for anything that has their music. You know, even if it is a song, it might even be something that's not actually in the Twitch soundtrack
So
that you might be getting flagged for incorrectly. So you can still get hit. You can still get hit by things that are going to be hearing other sounds inside of that as well.
Yeah. Well, so you can, except there's a whole other process there, right? Because if they have control over what goes over that audio channel, then I imagine that they're just going to say, no, you have the rights to like whatever goes over that.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you open a second well for the water to go through, if you open a second river, right? If you make a man-made river, that's what they're doing. They're building a second audio channel that you can put through. If other people can use it that aren't using Twitch soundtrack, then you can't blanket cover that, because then other people would just use music that's not included with Twitch soundtrack on the second channel. And just you still expose yourself. Oh yes, but that's because there's no live takedowns yet, though. But when that stuff starts to come, you're not going to be 100% on that either.
No. I gotta stop you because I know that's actually not true. And the only reason I know that that's actually not true is because I reached out to one record label the day before that blog post came out, who specifically told me they're working on a licensing deal with Twitch specifically. So in the Twitch soundtrack software, they have actual rights to everyone in there. So if I made a Spotify playlist of all the artists in Twitch soundtrack and played it through that secondary audio channel, there would be no actual difference.
I'm just saying if they were scanning for live content, a different company that thinks they're hearing their thing,
right?
Even if it's wrong, artists, still
those labels and artists are actually making money off of those plays.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying there.
So
I'm just saying it doesn't make you there is no bulletproof system for if your content is misidentified. I'm not talking about the label that
you're
owns
talking
the
on
music.
the VOD?
I'm talking about literally anybody
Yeah, okay.
else.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
you're right. You're
literally
very
anybody
right.
else. Yeah.
You're never safe.
Yeah.
Your content on Twitch is always a liability. It can always get DMCA'd falsely.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody can file a copyright claim that sounds a lot like something that you say or do or hum or fucking how your game sounds, and you can get DMCA'd for it. That's legit. That can happen to you. One guy got DMCA'd, dude, for playing like Lil Yachty or something, and what he was actually playing was a 3-second or 10-second clip or whatever of the circus theme, the do 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 do. Like when he looked at the claim,
that's what I mean.
It was like the circus theme, but he got claimed for something else.
Even if they have a license for the music, it can still be misidentified by other third parties that are like, oh wait, this is actually our song. Oh, good luck. Now you have to, hopefully it would automate the defense of that more easily. But yeah, I guess that's another big part of the problem is there's not a system in place that actually allows you to move through this stuff on your own, especially because, you get hit by the 3 and then it's, can you even I've never been banned from Twitch before. I don't know. Can these people even actually like access their dashboard still?
No.
Are they just completely locked out of everything in the website?
When you get banned, you can't even look at your financials. You can't look at anything.
That's
you are
mega fucked.
You are excommunicated from the Twitch religion, dude. You are out.
So if this happens to you right now, your recourse is to try to, I guess, reply to the DMCA email and hope that whoever is on the other side gets to you fast enough.
Bro, you are literally, if I play a top 20 song right now and you get banned, you are as bad as if I had literally turned my camera into fucking porn and just played it and you got banned for that. The fucking consequences are exactly the same.
I'd be less afraid of a porn ban at this point.
And that's disgusting. And that's disgusting.
It's the same shit.
It's
the same fucking thing.
Because I think we've all gone through it on YouTube. Like you've been through the process at least once with at least like a false claim, and it's like
right.
You get you have it's built into the website. Like you don't get kicked out of being able to use it. It's like, oh yeah, this guy thinks that you played his song, but it was like 40 zerglings all blowing up at once, and you're like, oh no, this is just video game sound. And then they have to reply back or refute it.
Right.
And if they don't do anything, if they don't bring evidence or actually make an attempt to, prove that you actually did something, it will automatically be removed from you. And it'll just be like, after a long enough period of time, if they're not going to actually confirm it once you counterclaim, then, that's a protection against BS like that. At least some sort of protection. But you don't even get that on Twitch.
When you're a partner on YouTube now, you can actually say, I have the rights to X thing. You can actually say, like, this creator has given me permission to play their shit or or use whatever it is. So, like, if I get a song given permission or license to me, I can say that, and that creator can still issue a copyright strike. Like, no, don't take that down. I don't like how it's being used. But they'll no longer get claims for that. So you can say, like, obviously the system isn't like perfect in that way, but I mean, if you are the copyright holder, you still have control over what happens unless you licensed it. Giving permission doesn't mean you own the rights to use it. It just means that you got permission to use it. So the holder can retract. But there's a system on YouTube for that. There's nothing for that here. Nothing. They are literally in the Stone Age. And the streamers are the ones who are getting screwed. Like, we all are getting screwed. Like, it's just so ridiculous. The entire thing is insane.
It sounds crazy.
We do know
way worse than what I actually thought this was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it has, like we said, within 6 months, like some popular games will just not be streamed because people will get banned and people are gonna be like, okay, no, because there's only one, like well, that's not necessarily like one, but if they don't want to change the way they're doing and there's not some affordable service or, Twitch specific type of license, but that's the thing is all of this shit is so new relative to everything that there's not some easy service where you're like, I would like to play Taylor Swift. How do I go about finding a way to play that music on my stream legally, right? Even if you could find a way to reach someone, you'd probably be talking to them about like a restaurant license or something weird that doesn't actually qualify or cover what you're doing, because this type of content doesn't really exist outside of maybe a specific partnership they do, because it's like channels that they own that they put it out on online. But
yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's a big fear, because if something like that doesn't happen, which is very unlikely, I don't see that happening. I don't see it being affordable for majority of people, right? So it's not like the people up top are the ones that are going to be hit the hardest by this, because they all got unbanned. But then you're like, well, now the games become harder to stream. Everybody ends up on like the same music, and
yeah.
you know, it was, I guess, worth bringing up. Facebook actually announced that they had, for their partners, they actually made a deal with some of the, I don't know which of the big labels.
I think like
or
all
if
of
it was
them,
just
all
one.
the major record labels.
But they made a deal so that their partners that are partnered and paid and they make money streaming on Facebook, they can actually just play that shit. Like the company just covered them.
Yeah,
so
like you can play Taylor Swift.
It's not like it's an unsolvable problem, but Twitch's response has been prepare 0%, right? Actually, prepare -% because they encourage people to play this type of stuff. There was never any sort of real discouragement towards people using copyrighted content. They didn't build any systems. They obviously didn't think that they were going to need to for whatever reason, or thought they could get away with it. So now it ends up being that it's like, do you expect these guys to be the ones to say, yeah, for our partners, we're going to figure something out like that? Like, they haven't given even the I mean, I honestly feel stupid for even just saying this, because of how unlikely it is that they would ever go out of their way to try to do something like that, because of how big the platform is, and because it's, Twitch is a borderline monopoly on live streaming. This is the place where people go, for the most part, right? That could change. That is, I mean, there's some things that are happening in places with the other sites, but for the most part, it's the biggest place. This is where most people are. They can tell streamers to go, to go fuck themselves if they want. They don't give a shit about us. They're not going to go out of their way to pay for music licenses for, I don't know, they like to brag about it, what, like 25, 30, how many thousands of partners now? Like 35,000 partners they're going to get blanket licenses for this stuff for? Forget about it.
Apparently they were in talks. Like they were actually.
Then they saw a price tag.
Yeah, they saw the price tag and they weren't willing to shell out.
Well, they don't pay. They hardly pay streamers like 5% of what they make off of ads. So I'm not surprised they're not going to shell out millions of dollars to give us music. Just look at the way Twitch approaches everything. It's when it comes to stuff for streamers, you're hardly getting anything that increases your revenue.
50% of your sub revenue.
Yeah. They're just, they add things that they say. It's like, yes, it's measurable for them that it's a massive increase in revenue, but where does the money for, stuff like big amounts of gifted subs come from? Well, that's your big donation of the month gone, right? And there are certainly lots of other ways that you can talk about why that's, wrong. And there's a lot of good arguments against that. But the general point that I'm trying to make is Twitch is not out to help streamers. Twitch is out to help you if you're making them a lot of money already. And I have no doubt in my mind that all these big streamers, I have no doubt in my mind that Summit and Pokemon or whoever, all the top people, they're going to be taken care of. They're going to probably figure something out with them, or they're already doing it themselves. But for the majority of people, we're headed towards not being able to stream tons of games and having every single channel on Twitch just be, one of the 2,000 songs in the Chill Hop Lofi playlist.
Yeah. Yeah, but what really fucking grinds my gears here is that I know for a fact, let's say a 99% fact, okay? Because obviously the person who told me that couldn't, like, not misinterpret, but maybe the person they heard that from, who is an inside source, is maybe like that was misinformed. But if you get a DMCA strike on deleted content, the content that's already being deleted, then they'll remove it if you email them. But that isn't public knowledge. Did you know that? So like all these people are running around.
I heard about that.
Shit-faced terrified that they're going to get banned for something that they deleted. It's semi-public knowledge, but not by Twitch. So the company who's literally has you by the balls, they didn't tell you that you're safe if you deleted all your shit. You're just sitting there sweating. You're sweating because you've played, if you're Jason, you've played Taylor Swift every fucking week for the last 300 weeks. And any one of those clips you think it's going to get you. But you're actually fine. Right? For anything you've deleted. All the other problems are there, and this is the part that
Well, then
really
you still have to
harkens-
go through that process too. By
You
the
still
way,
have to go
with
to
that
the
email
process,
and
but-
waiting for someone to help you.
It just highlights the miscommunication, like the lack of communication from Twitch here. Like Twitch literally waits to the absolute last second and communicates 10% of what they should. And I understand that communicating can often lead you to be in a world of shit because you don't want to always like communicate your whole hand. You don't want the industry to know whatever. But these are people's lives, like their livelihoods. We should know what the fuck's going on when Twitch drops the ball like this. Like we should know what our futures are going to look like. Like, for example, we all have an exclusivity clause. We're all stuck here. We can't go anywhere, can't do anything else, right? But if we all could, we would all stream to YouTube at the same time, because if you're looking at this DMCA stuff, you're afraid. Like you can't not be afraid. Right? There's no way to look at this because either you're going down or everyone else is going down, and like what are you gonna be, the last person on Twitch? Like it's not gonna happen that way. Like the creators have all built communities off of Twitch, Discords, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Like at the end of the day, we love Twitch, but Twitch is just a link. Like if it all goes to hell, we'll just go somewhere else. Right? But we can't build that anywhere else right now because we're stuck here. So, they're not communicating with us, and we're stuck on this one place, and there's nothing you can do. Everyone feels kind of shoehorned into a corner. I love like I see somebody in Twitch saying people love Twitch ? I do love Twitch. I mean, it's been incredibly good to me. I've had some of the best moments of my life on this platform. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and a lot of people that work there do a lot of good work. A lot of the products that are coming out soon that people don't know about are actually solutions to problems that people hate right now, like ad stuff. They are working on solutions. I think they mistimed them like crazy, but don't think that they don't think like things like pre-rolls aren't a big problem. They hate them too. They're a necessary evil because they have to make X amount of dollars in order to prove that they're a viable business, like every other business in the world. Like I don't like to shit on them for no reason. But when it comes to communication, Twitch is the fucking worst, and they really need to work on that shit because we didn't know. Like we sat there for 3 months with no content on the platform, or literally sweating, and then when the second wave came, people who didn't believe the round of people who were saying this is a big deal,
you guys are overblowing it. Nothing's gonna happen, guys. People have been playing music for years. Why are things gonna change all of a sudden? Oh
man. Too many people said that. I wish
there are people still saying it, by the way. There are people
exactly accurate. It's
there are
so
people who
right.
think this is just going to end soon. There's that things are going to be like just normal. It's just going to go away.
It's
like,
not.
all the music shit. Oh yeah, whatever. A couple months, this stuff's done. Whatever. No, what is that? My favorite analogy is the eye of Sauron of the music industry is on you now, and it's not going to look away because this is where a lot of people are. This is where people are all living online now. These record labels don't have anything to do anyway because there's no events that they're managing. It's all online sales. That's got to be everything for them right now. There is zero reason for them to turn back from deciding to clamp down on rampant use of copyrighted material without their permission. From their perspective, it's an incredibly normal thing that they're like, oh yeah, well, I don't really care if your friend Susan has been streaming and it built up her life. She's been playing our music and we deserve a cut. So you can either go through whatever channel to do that, or we're going to claim your content and then you're going to get banned. Like it's not like there's an easy decision to be made on any point. Like the law doesn't really protect content creators because the way that it's set up is, if you want to try to go prove to these guys that you're doing fair use with your 5-second Taylor Swift song clip, good luck taking them to court over it to get a ruling that you were using it correctly, because otherwise the only arbitrator is Twitch. And they are going to take the side of the people claiming that, no, you don't own this content.
There has to be like a motivation behind everything, right? So the DMCAs, like, are they trying to put the screws to Twitch to get a deal with Twitch? Or are they, you mentioned some streamers might get sued.
No.
Like what?
Amazon is one of the biggest corporations on earth. If Amazon really wanted to, like there's a world where most of this is just putting so much pressure legally and just from internally on Twitch and Amazon that they're like, one of their best case scenarios is that Amazon just says, fuck this, we can't handle all of this bad PR. We do have the money to just throw at this and fix it. That's their best case scenario, because then their music goes out to everyone like they want. Everyone keeps playing their music and they get their cut from Amazon paying for it blanket, right?
Yeah,
but obviously that is
want.
insanely expensive, because there's a lot of partners, there's a lot of people who will still stream, and then you still need to build that system for people who wouldn't be included in a blanket, because obviously they wouldn't give the million. I think their stat is like 1 million different people have streamed on Twitch. They're not going to blanket 1 million people with that sort of protection, but
right.
yeah, that's the best case magical,
Yeah,
rainbow unicorn scenario is that Amazon just uses its infinite money. But they're loath to do that for many obvious reasons. It's not like Twitch is making them money to the point where they're like, yeah, we could spend 2% of Twitch's profits on a $20 million music license. No, because they're not making enough money that's a drop in the bucket for what the Twitch revenue specifically is. So the easiest thing for them to do is to just cave to the music industry and let most streamers, I guess, eat shit. But anything could still happen, right? There's not been a serious resolution to any of this yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's time I want to stay in order for you, Sal, but
No.
what about
Pretty much at the end, yeah.
the strikes? Like, how does this work? Do people get rid of strikes? Like,
Currently, if you get hit with a strike on content that's still there, it doesn't come off. I don't know what happens if you delete it. You just have a strike now.
and does that strike just exist for the Twitch platform forever? Is that how this works?
So I guess we're at the phase now where
Yeah.
we talk about what this means for streamers. Now, what this basically means for streamers is the following. Like, when this started in the summer, I went full nuclear. I had no faith in Twitch. My faith was already low from ads. So I think that probably fed some of my decision making at the time, and I was just right. Unfortunately, I was right. I kept every clip above 30 views. I spent 12 to 14 hours individually combing through every single clip and downloading and keeping what I thought was good or funny or salvageable or whatever, because there are a lot of clips that you don't really need. But like that, I realize now that I was right, and that if you keep clips here, every single clip is an avenue of attack for a DMCA request. Having clips on is a liability, right? It's like if I were an insurance company, every clip you have is like a pre-existing condition. Like it's essentially the same thing. Like every single time you have another VOD or piece of content on Twitch, you are open to getting fucking destroyed from an industry who incorrectly claims your content, right? And then, if you actually, like, for some people, you live at home and you're streaming, but some people literally are living month to month on Twitch. If you get banned for 14 days, bro, like, you're out of a job. You're not getting paid. You're not getting subs. And you're like literally wondering if you're going to have a job again. And you have no clue what the fuck's going on. Like, you can't risk these things. So it's my recommendation that everyone who plays any kind of music, Twitch soundtrack or otherwise, like, you 100% should disable clips and disable VODs, or do sub only VODs and save them manually yourself. Put them on YouTube, because at least there you know that if you get copyright claimed, then you're not going to like lose your channel over it. You're gonna lose the ad revenue. But like, if you're not partnered, it's fine, right? So, and that's the thing. Like, you can use a GoXLR or whatever mechanism to strip the music from it with a secondary channel anyway. So you can upload there and post, right? Having anything on Twitch is just a liability, man. Like, it is what it is. And if you're not playing, like, if you're not playing music, now you have to ask yourself a serious question. Am I willing to risk that something in this game that happened doesn't get me DMCA'd? Am I willing to risk that? Every single person has to think like that. Like, I can't. I wish I was just talking out of my ass. I wish that somebody would just bust into this fucking stream right now and be like, "No, you're wrong. It's not what's gonna happen. Like, no one's gonna do that. That's just where we are."
I think we both agree that there is literally nothing more in this situation that we want than to be wrong.
Than to be wrong as fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I was wrong as fuck. But honestly, if what you should think of Twitch as is an Airbnb for your live stream. That's it. Just build a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Just build a YouTube channel.
Use platforms that offer methods to protect
take your
yourself.
Content, hire an editor or do it yourself and build a YouTube channel. That's it. It's just that is what it is.
How are they deciding things like ban lengths? I'm very confused about this.
Yeah, I mean YouTube has a peel off time. So like I wouldn't be so stringent about not keeping clips and stuff and like not having VODs if there was an amount of time that could pass and you would be safe. Like on YouTube, if you get a DMCA strike after 60 to 90 days, it comes off.
Yeah, because
that's
prevent
not how
abuse.
Twitch works.
Their platform is the way that they're set up is to try to prevent abuse. Obviously, it's not perfect,
Yes.
but Twitch is
but
like
Twitch
oh,
feels
you've got we've marked your jacket now, and that's where everyone's gonna know. We're gonna know forever that you've done this, and it's never coming off. And that's another one of the problems too. There's no clearly defined system or path. It's just literally. Yeah, don't turn any sound on at all. Don't play music or games you don't have the rights to, and good luck.
Yeah. So this guy in chat, sorry, this guy in chat says,
"Oh, go ahead."
But Pig does YouTube and he's getting cucked. Okay. Very importantly, different levels of cucked. Okay. There is cucked as in, okay, you're not getting your ad revenue this month, and there's cucked as in you can't come here anymore. Ever again. You don't actually have
what
content
happened to
anymore.
Pig? What happened to Pig?
Oh, there's the YouTube ad. I've only seen the tweets. If he wants to speak for himself, he can, but I've only seen the tweets. I think they're taking his ad revenue when they shouldn't be. There's some really weird ad revenue shit going on.
There's bad things. There is no perfect solution for this because the law was passed in 1998. Like the people there weren't even fucking dreaming of the type of stuff that people are doing with the internet now. And a lot of it is transformative, and a lot of it does, under the opinions of many out there, fall under fair use. But because the law is so archaic and the way that everything is set up puts the power in the holder's hands of the copyright, that they get to decide unilaterally whether or not they think it's fair. And obviously they're never going to come out and be like, hey, we just want you to know that we were going to DMCA you, but we decided that this was actually funny. Like no company's doing that because it's all automated. There's no person that's looking at your video being like, man, I can't believe this guy just sat there, turned off all his sound and just headbanged to our song for like 2 minutes. Right. Which you could then be like, I don't know how much of this is about the song versus the stream. Right. Or whatever. Right. How much of this is transformative? How much of this could you argue is being used in good faith or whatever type of language you want to say, that it's not just straight up ripping off somebody's work. But until the law changes, that you're just kind of at the mercy of the system. And that's, well, that's the part that sucks the most. So yeah, people have all the horror stories about YouTube with ad revenue being taken, but like, I've never been banned. I've never been banned for all the fake claims that have come in. I've at least been able to deal with them. You know, I've never had to send an email or a Twitter DM to a stranger on the internet saying, hey, I got banned, but like, I wasn't playing Blinding Lights by the Weekend. We were just playing a game and there was some weird electronic sound that a character made, right? Like I ulted or some shit and my laser beam apparently triggered this thing. They're like, no. And then you get to wait and you see the little blue check mark that the person read your message and you're like, all right, guess I'm in the bin with 150, however many other people are there now. There's not some easy process that's set up where you can at least try to get around this. Yeah.
Okay.
As for what happened with Pig earlier, I was on a call with him and he said this publicly on stream, so it's not private information necessarily, but a YouTube algorithm decided that a lot of the views on his YouTube content that it served ads to, that the views were fake, and therefore that it took back some of the ad revenue that he's supposed to receive. So he's in the battle of trying to prove that his views are real and get his money back.
Okay. That's a
Oh, okay.
completely different mess, but
That's a
still awful
completely different
nonetheless.
mess.
Bless
Right.
you, Peg. Hope everything works out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so with the Twitch situation here,
Yeah.
everyone should delete all of their clips and
And their
all of
VODs.
their VODs. How long does it hold VODs for? I know that they reduced that, right? Isn't it only 6 months or
you're-
something now?
60 days.
It's 60 days
60
if you're a
days.
Unless
partner
you
now, yeah.
manually save them. But like, again, you're basically running a risk like every time. Right?
Yeah,
Is there-
any one of
Yeah.
those, if it detects if these automated systems,
Yeah.
and like, just imagine this show, right? It doesn't, even if you're not using a lot of musical type assets, even if it just incorrectly picks anything up,
Yeah.
if the failure rate is like 1%, right? And you look at YouTube videos where people get false claimed over, most people aim for what, 10 minutes, right? Sometimes a YouTube video goes a bit longer, like, these shows, for example. But when streams are long and there's a lot of content to go through, the potential for there to be way more, right, relatively, like for your DMCA stuff,
Yeah.
with getting hit by these flags is also going to be up. There's a lot of video content out there. Some people had it between clips. Like, I can't even imagine what the cumulative length of all of the clips that I've had up, right? And you're like, oh, well, clips aren't that big of a deal, but people take random fucking clips all the time of literally anything that people say. People click the button on accident. Streamers who have the button on their stream deck press it by accident. Like, there's so much content that gets generated that could be targeted, whether it's correctly or not, by these algorithms and these systems. And there's nothing set up to manage, deal with it, or protect yourself against it, other than being told to turn off all your sound.
Okay, and so delete everything, but Devin Nash said that you can still get DMCA'd for deleted things because they still technically exist.
Yes, but
Yeah.
but
on a
we
server.
know for an almost 100% fact that if a deleted thing gets DMCA'd, so there are two fundamental problems with that on Twitch's end. The first is that having that content is a violation of GDPR. So, and no one has really talked about that too much.
GDPR?
GDPR is the European mandate that a person who deletes content has to be able to delete the content 100%. Has to be
Like, really delete
Oh,
it.
Yeah, I remember something.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
let's say I dox myself online and I delete that and there's a clip made of it and that clip is deleted, it's still there and that fails GDPR.
Mhm.
So like, technically Europeans could sue them. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
for that exact thing.
theoretically, they open themselves up big time
To a
there.
pretty massive fucking lawsuit. Yeah.
But stuff like that is a great reminder that there are ways that you can, there are things that could potentially change down the line. I mean, America moves really slow when it comes to law type stuff. So I think it's going to probably be more on the longer side if like the DMCA itself ever gets reworked or fixed or whatever, or improved to be like more clearly outline actual guidelines for what constitutes fair use, so that you can be like, no, I'm 100% within these parameters, that you at least have that for those types of situations. But yeah, I mean, good luck with that, right? With how slow things go here. But you end up like, I don't know. Yeah, the GDPR thing was a really big issue too, because Europe, as far as I'm aware, they've been taking that stuff pretty seriously.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. There's another issue. The thing is that on DMCA side, it's a request. It's a courtesy. Hey, take this content down. When I click that delete button, I did my best effort. If I had to go to court, a judge would look at that and they would see, oh, you deleted the content, you took it down. So who does it fall on then? It falls on Twitch, because Twitch is now hosting my content. So two things can happen there. One, they're now the content holder, and two, I can DMCA them because they have my content.
You can't
pretty
DMCA
sure.
Twitch, I bet. I bet you that's somewhere in the
I bet
agreement
you I
that you
could.
signed. I bet you it's
It's
somewhere
my-
in there that you can't
Well,
do
not
that.
the
I mean,
content
Dan,
isn't
through the
exclusive to
power
their
of
platform.
litigation, all things are possible. Whether you win is a different question.
Well, think about it. I could take a VOD,
Very
put it
American
on
answer.
YouTube, I use YouTube to file a DMCA. It's still my content. Because it's no longer supposed to be on Twitch. They don't have exclusivity over my content. They only have it for 24 hours. After that, I can put it wherever I want and do whatever I want with it. Like,
Wow.
so having that content still opens them up for a world of shit. So that's why if you get a DMCA on content that's deleted, if you email them, they'll remove that strike.
Okay. That makes
Right?
sense.
Yeah.
Who
It doesn't
are you even supposed to email for that type of thing? Like you
probably
just
your partner manager or fucking God. I don't know. At this point, say a couple prayers, Artosis. I don't know.
yeah, that's about it.
We're all fucked.
You just type in god@gmail.com. He's probably
Yeah,
the one with
exactly.
that.
And some Twitch support staff is like, this guy means it.
He's like, no.
Definitely.
I'm like, oh, god@AOL.com. Okay, we got
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. There's I mean, I know on YouTube they or at least when it comes to DMCA, I think in general, they are still supposed to provide a method of trying to contact the rights holder, which to the best of my knowledge, I do think Twitch includes that. And good luck getting the rights holder to respond to you, but you can technically also ask them to to take back their claim after you delete your content is a thing you can try to do. That's not going to guarantee anything for you, but if it's not the biggest label or whatever that gets inundated with these types of requests, like you could possibly have the person undo it after you've satisfied whatever it is that they were upset about.
Well, I think you can refute the claim, but then they can actually take you to court after that.
Yes, that they can also do that, but you can also they're supposed to give you a method of direct contact to be able to say, yeah, you can also just try to settle it between yourselves individually too.
Yeah.
So from all this information, what is the actual future for this? Like how for streamers, for Twitch, like should people be looking at alternative streaming platforms, would you say? Should people ride it out and see what Twitch does? Like how does
think
this work?
That Twitch is just gonna double down. This is so here we enter the part that's no longer fact. It like in history at this point, we enter into predictions, essentially.
Yeah.
What we think is gonna happen. It's important to say that because I get worked up, but I don't want it to seem like this is 100% the way things are gonna go. But this is what I think is gonna happen. Twitch is literally going to stop trying to tailor to VOD content completely. That's what I think is going to happen. They'll sign deals with most small labels, I think. So not the big ones like UMG, but like for example, I reached out to Cold Busted Records. They have lots of not like beat makers and chill hop guys and whatever. Like good, they have good albums and stuff. A lot of different guys that I'm a big fan of, because you get a problem where I reached out to like an artist, Ep.112. He makes tons of beats. He makes great beats. I love them. I've loved them forever. I've had them on my playlist for a long time. He has such an extensive collection that like half of his albums belong to him because they're like independently released. Half of them belong to record labels. So like when he gave me blanket permission, it only applies to half of his work. Right? So you kind of have to keep that. You have to keep that in mind. Right. So what Twitch will do is probably reach out to all of these record labels and get permissions for at least the mechanical license. Right. I imagine their argument in court is going to be, we're streaming this audio to a second audio channel that is optional. It doesn't belong to the video that comes with it. Right. I think that's what they're going to argue.
That makes so much more sense
but
then. Yeah,
it's not. But a fucking judge is going to look at that and be like, can I turn off the video and play the audio? And they're going to say no. And then you're going to, and then they're going to have a situation where they're going to be like, oh, so you
can on your phone though. You can do audio only on your phone.
You can do audio only, but you have audio only on the video and on the music. So like you still have both audio tracks synced up. So basically, they're going to go to court over that, and they're either going to lose it and they're going to need sync licenses, or they're not.
And that could end up being a pretty big deal, the result of that.
If they're willing to go to court, and this is all assuming Amazon doesn't just dump them, by the way, because Devin Nash has rightly pointed this out. It's 80-20 rule. If Twitch makes up 20%, like a small fraction, like 1% of the revenue, but causes 80% of their litigation and problems, like, are they going to take that fight? They're not an ads company. If it were YouTube, if it were Google, they might take that fight because they sell ads. But Amazon doesn't sell ads. So you have this question of, well, why Amazon's keeping them because they can sell what? I don't know. They're keeping it to have a foot in the content creation space. If the business is profitable, they'll keep it. Right? Like, but if the business starts causing them a shit ton of problems, they might not. So if they decide to back that fight in the first place, then maybe you'll get a massive overhaul because no one's got the balls to stand up to them, right? Like,
No.
like that's the problem. The music industry's entire job, like, for example, every artist I reached out to that responded to me gave me permission to use their work. So it's not the artists. It's not the artists. The artists who made the music don't have a problem with us using stuff for the vast majority of them. So who has the problem? The people who it's like how Twitch takes your money and they're like, because we did a good thing. The record label takes their money and says we did a good thing, but they didn't do anything. Like they didn't make that music. They sold it. That's all they do. It's their job. Right?
Yeah.
So it's their jobs to make sure that when you hit play, they get paid. That's it. Right?
Totally.
Yeah. Well, it is as far as the future for streaming on Twitch goes, and like what people need to do. People like a worst case type scenario is that Amazon's obviously not going to go to bat, right? Let's assume that for whatever reason, it doesn't go to some big litigation thing. Amazon's like, we're just gonna tell Twitch that they just have to sit there and deal with it. A system gets implemented eventually because they are gonna have to do it without either hiring a bunch of people or getting sued. They'll have to implement some sort of automatic content ID type system for live streams. It will have to exist. People will get banned while streaming for things that'll
happen.
Do not violate DMCA. Right. People will get banned live. People will have their livelihoods taken away over things like that, or greatly affected by being banned for a week or two while they try to settle it out. And most of the streams that you tune into, the big popular ones, will probably have things worked out where those guys can use the big things. There's already hidden tiers of partner, even that aren't advertised by Twitch at all, right?
Are there?
And those individuals, yeah.
Get better subcuts.
Yeah. The only thing Twitch will tell you is that none of that is real. None of it exists. But those people, you'll still be able to probably tune in and hear whatever you want on like big popular streamers channels. Everybody else is going to fall into some category of they don't use music, or they are all going to be on like, the Pretzel platform, Chill Hop Cafe, all of this stuff. And you're going to hear pretty much the same music everywhere on the entire website.
Unless they did what I did and they take 3 days of their life, literally straight, and email all the artists, and they're like,
yeah, but most people don't do that. So that's the kind of effort that makes people. So that's the kind of effort that makes people big. Okay, so I mean, the average person is not going to go to such lengths, and even if they do, we already know that somebody telling you that you can play their music doesn't mean anything if their label hasn't explicitly given you written permission that you think would actually stand up in any sort of arbitration or court hearing. Like you have to have something that says, yeah, this is legit, not just the guy replying to my tweet. Oh yeah, play my music while you're gaming, whatever. Like, so even that
artist is the best bet. But for sure.
Yeah. So independent small artists, obviously, there's the potential for a business to get pretty big by trying to reach out to those people for streamers. I do anticipate that there will be a popular service. This is a massive gap in the market. If Amazon doesn't want to have any part of fixing this problem, there's a place for a company to try and be a middleman between the average Joe streamer and access to music that isn't the same like 15 playlists that everybody is being forced to use now. If that doesn't happen, or it fails or whatever, it's too expensive, they don't advertise well, they don't actually get any sort of variance in their music, then we go to option C, which is everybody's just playing the same remix of a Lo-fi song on every single channel everywhere, and people end up still probably getting banned because they boot up a game that they're excited for, and they didn't realize that even though the game, they're like, yeah, guys, there's no DMCA music in our game, but then they're like, oh my god, the trailer plays when you load the game. Oh, it's a rock music, AC/DC, I'm fucked. Goodbye, stream. Goodbye, my livelihood. Everything is gone now. Thank you. Or, before you know how to turn off the voice chat, you get put into a game with some guy who's like, are you a streamer? Boom, Back in Black's on. That's it. Your channel's over. Your livelihood's done. Game over, man. Like, that's
scary. That's crazy.
Hey, if Amazon doesn't take big steps to try and protect people and actually help them, and it's, I take the same stance when I talk about any subdivision of a company. I don't care how small Twitch thinks they are. They wear the Amazon shirt. They have the big boy pants on. They're playing in the big boy leagues now. Nobody talks to Twitch like there's some small division of some sub company, except the people that are trying to defend them. They are part of a super massive mega corporation that is like almost monopoly tier in the amount of influence that they have in the United States of America. And obviously they're continuing to spread around the world. This is not the kind of company that can't solve this problem if they wanted to.
It's will they? Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
So
yeah.
if they decide, they could leave everybody hanging. And I do think that creates a big opportunity for another platform to be like, oh, instead of wasting money on trying to sign $1 million streamers, we should make this the platform where you can be like, oh yes, our lean more towards is being able to get like licenses for our stuff. People try to encourage people to go stream there, right? I'm sure the Facebook announcement enticed a couple of people that had offers on the table to be like, I could avoid this whole entire mess if I just accept this deal and try to rebuild over there, but I can actually, play music. So that's like a non-apocalyptic type, but just, boring dystopia type solution.
I mean, we know that most mid-tier labels are gonna sign up with Twitch or just give permission, because like the big labels, big artists, they won't do it because that advertising, like when you go into a stream with 1,000 viewers and they're playing some song that has literally 10 or like maybe 100 monthly listeners on Spotify, that person who's getting played there couldn't pay for exposure that good. Like that's so good for them. It's good for their label. It's good for the artist, because the streamer generally likes what they play, right? They love what they're playing. Everyone sees that and goes to Spotify because they're not listening to that VOD for you or for the music. They're there for you. So they hear a song, they go and they add it to their playlist, right? This is something that's happened for a while. This is why Sumerian Records, Chan is on them, and I literally, my heart stopped, and I just, thanked every deity ever written ever. Like some of these artists that I love a lot, they're on Sumerian. Sumerian gave full permission. It's a big deal because, like, for them, all of their artists, they get tons of basically ad presence that they just wouldn't have gotten otherwise for free. But we all know who the fuck Taylor Swift is. Like, even people who never listened to a Taylor Swift song ever, right? Ever. We all know who she is. She gains actually negative value by having us play her music. It's lost plays in their mind for that. Right? So there's been talks, like a lot of people have talked about, like, making it so you can hook up your Spotify and then, everyone's worth like a certain amount of money per play. And then, that way you could play your music and the streamer could pay out, stuff like that. There's going to be some kind of solution in that way. If Twitch can't strike a deal, they'll find a way to make it so that a creator can pay. This is what I want. This is probably not going to happen. But what I would like, I would pay $100 a month to be able to play whatever the fuck I wanted. I'd pay that. Like for my 150 viewers, I'd pay that to be able to just be like, hey, I want to listen to blah, blah, blah. We're doing that today. Let's do it. Like if someone links me a song in chat, hey, I want to hear that. What's that like? I want to be able to say, oh, this music is good, or I don't like it. It doesn't tickle my fancy. But that's all dead now. And
I was gonna say, that's a very ambitious dream.
No, I mean that's a solution people have talked about, but I don't think it's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is that mid-tier labels will cut deals with Twitch. The catalog of music that's playable on Twitch will eventually grow if they don't get destroyed by litigation. And Twitch is essentially going to say, yeah, you can't have VODs here and you can play these artists, and our artist catalog is pretty big now. And that's what they're hoping. They're hoping that they don't need that music at all. That the theory that we're all copyright infringers and we need it, that's false. They're banking on that. I think that's silly. But and it doesn't help the DMCA apocalypse, which is that we can get hit for random shit that's like not actually DMCA-able. That needs to be changed. But I see what their take is. Their take is that, they can essentially create an ecosystem for artists who make music. I understand what they're doing. It's just like it always goes back to the communication thing. Why did they communicate this like 3 months after everyone literally like panicked? Like they're all worried about their livelihoods, and then they half communicated their solution, which is basically read the EULA and mute the game music till we know what the fuck is going on. Like, I mean, this is where I get lost, right?
Yeah, they started with that. That's the worst part. They started with telling you to delete everything and not play any sounds. That was their first answer.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the safest thing that's possible, right? That's
Yeah, but it's like
Well, yeah, but the
it
thing
doesn't
is,
matter.
like,
the optics are still terrible.
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
It
because
was insane when I read that tweet and everyone talking about it. I'm like, oh, that's like,
it's
is it
like
even worth it to tweet that?
you know what it reminds me
No.
of? Do you remember when Apple made the iPhone 4 and then they said that you're holding it wrong when the signal didn't work?
Oh yeah, because the
And
antenna was on the side.
they tried to shunt the blame onto the person using the fucking phone. Like, we haven't all held phones before. Like, literally, if you held the phone,
You're holding the phone
if you
wrong.
held the phone would just not, like, it would lose signal. And
How
they
are
were
you
like,
supposed to hold it? Were you supposed to hold it like this or something? Like,
you're just holding it wrong. Hold it with the other hand. Hold it with the other hand. It's fine. You know, it's like that. It's like, hey, you guys are a bunch of idiot streamers. You know nothing about anything. Yeah, stop playing that music, losers. What's wrong with you?
why are
that
you
is
thieves
what they
playing
did.
that music?
It's your fault. Why are you playing that music, bro?
That's what sucks, because it's very much so them talking down to everyone. Like, well, you guys just need to educate yourselves. Twitch is going to go out of we're going to go out of our way to teach you how to properly offer yourself to a sacrifice so that you don't get hurt in the process, guys. All right, it's very important that you go out of your way. We're going to try and produce some articles for you to read that says don't play stuff you don't own. And we're also going to say, don't play any new video games because those might have new songs in them. Rather than attempt to actually do anything or make it appear that anything is happening to do anything other than solve the problem than saying that Twitch is now a mute website, we're just going to tell you to mute everything.
Right.
Actually, now that you say that, it makes me think that that's going to be a new marketing thing for a lot of these games, because a lot of games now take Twitch into consideration.
Yes.
So they'll probably part of their marketing plan will be nothing on here will get you DMCA'd 100%.
Cyberpunk already came out and said that. CDPR came out and said that their game will be DMCA safe because they had all the music specifically licensed only for their game and not anything else that they could DMCA you for or whatever. I actually tweeted them asking about that, and the response that I got was actually quite a few articles that they didn't apparently announced this a while ago.
I guess there's actually another thing I wanted to touch on for streamers specifically, right? Because like that was kind of where we're at. We're talking about what streamers should do here. And I want to get into what I think what viewers should actually do after this.
Okay.
So for streamers, like, yeah, at this point it's going to be, if you're a streamer, you have to really start thinking about your brand and what that means and what's associated with it. So for example, I realized that all my alerts are like half like MIDI from like Zelda tracks and half like YouTube dubstep songs. And I was like, shit, like if content copyright ever comes to Twitch from YouTube, like, okay, I'm gonna lose out because of all my alerts. So I actually went and got my friend Morn, it's Morn_SC, to custom make me alerts, because he's an EDM guy, but he can make whatever music you want. So he's been custom making me my alerts, the songs that you get for bits, and we're actually I'm gonna have him commissioned to do like a few songs a month. It got accelerated because of the second round of DMCA stuff, but I'm actually gonna start getting tracks made strictly that you can only hear on my stream, right? And you have to start thinking about things like that. Like, you have to figure out how you're going to create your brand from scratch, because now it's truly going to be a problem that if you rip an emote off of somebody else, or you rip a track off of somebody else for your alerts, or you rip an overlay off of somebody else, like even if it's a slight variation, like you're looking at the same problem. Like copyright's going to be at Twitch in a big way, right? So every sound that you have that plays for your stream, even if you have to learn some skills to figure that out, it's time to start fucking doing that. Because the more, like, if you start subscribing to, like, Own TV has a pack of overlays, right? Here's a good example. Jason got a nice overlay pack. I tuned into a 3-viewer streamer and I saw the same overlay pack. So like Jason's overlay is the same quality and the same aesthetic as somebody who has 3 viewers, right? Like,
yeah, but that's like the business model.
And it's
Own,
not like
right?
it's not like a major problem as much
It's
as
like
it becomes like
art.
If that happens everywhere, like if everybody switches to the stock art you pay for so that it's copyright safe, if everybody switches to all of the jingles and shit, that are copyright safe. Because before, people are just like, oh yeah, I want to just use like this jingle or whatever, it's fine. But now you have like maybe 50 like alerts you'll hear, and you'll hear them everywhere. Every stream. Or you'll have like 100 overlays, you'll see them everywhere. Over 30,000 streamers, you'll see them on every single stream, right? Like, these are things you have to think about now. And somebody in chat asked, for the smaller partners and non-partners, how do you expect to go in that regard? Listen, I understand what I'm about to tell you seems privileged, okay? But I'm going to explain to you that I'm the one person who can look you dead in the fucking face and tell it to you. I did everything from scratch for the last like 4 years. I learned how to do pixel art. I learned how to do like the music stuff. I learned how to do all that shit myself. I did it all myself. And it wasn't until literally I ran out of hours in the day and I stopped talking to family members, it became a real problem. Okay. And I'm lucky that now I have a little bit of expendable cash to like start building a team of people. Like Carnage, he has all of his overlays made for his stream, all of his alerts made per game, per stream. So like he goes crazy. I can't go that crazy. And I understand that it's tough. But that's gonna be the art of being a streamer, is you're gonna have to be a jack of all trades. Like, you have to be able to put your stuff on YouTube now. Like, you can't have it on Twitch. If you get DMCA'd, you lose your channel. So you just need to start being a YouTuber too. Like, these are just the realities a content creator has to face. You have to get out of the idea of being a streamer. You're not a streamer anymore. And that sucks for me because that's my job. That's the thing I love to do the most. I'm a streamer by trade. But my new job is content creator. Because this platform looks like it could fail me. And I'm not going to lose everything I worked for because of that. Right? So if you are a streamer, you need to take a step back and think of yourself as a content creator. Right? And I don't say that because I don't like I'm like privileged or I'm trying to like talk down. I'm just trying to give you advice to protect your brands. Because you know, if you play some track that I own, right, as a bigger streamer, I'm like, oh fuck this guy, he's using my content. Right? I can just take you out. Like, it's just something I can do. You know what I mean? If you watch my stream for a little bit too long, I could DMCA you. And it sucks, but it's the reality that you live in. So
yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to protect the brand, and you have to step away from other people's content and make yourself, like you need to start looking for permissions. If there's a game you want to like watch from ESL, you got to reach out. That's their content. These are things you need to start to think about, the rights and stuff. Like, that's all, and it's a bitter pill I had to swallow because I understand that, you know, these people probably want their content seen. It's just the way of the world. And it's unfortunate in many ways. And sometimes it's fortunate. If someone's using your content in a way you don't like, you have that right. It belongs to you. But it's just part of the game you got to play.
It feels like there's a silver lining there, based on the way you were just talking about that, where now it's like people shouldn't just rely on Twitch. I think probably that's always true.
Right. No, I mean,
have all your eggs in one basket.
I mean, Devin talked about that in your interview. Like, people should already have been pushing to YouTube in the first place. It's just that now it's become very apparent that has to happen in every single way. Like, you have to think about that from the get-go. Like, Twitch is a great place to stream your stuff. It is. It has a great ecosystem for it. It has a good chat. It has a lot of great features. YouTube's live service sucks. It's terrible.
It blows.
Right? So Twitch is still a great place for live content, and it probably will be till the end, if that ever happens, right? But like, now you have to think like, okay, so I have to put my VOD somewhere. Like, this work I did, I can make stuff out of it. It's got to go somewhere. I mean, a good example that I tell people, like, obviously this is an extreme example, so keep that in mind. Harris Heller, before he became a big YouTuber, paid his editor $2,000 a month before he was earning any money on YouTube to edit his videos. He makes over 10K a month now.
Yeah.
Because he saw, like, obviously, again, extreme example. I don't recommend everyone take that risk. He saw that he needed to focus hard on that on YouTube, and if he didn't, it wouldn't work. What he was doing wouldn't work. And so he did that. And that's the way you need to think. Like, you need to think, like, okay, so I'm doing these streams for 4 hours a day. I need to continue to leverage them. Where am I going to put that? What am I going to do with that? Is there something I can salvage here? How do I make it unique so it doesn't belong to other people? And it starts with just the music that you hear, the sounds that you hear, you know, the vocals, the mic, the whole setup. But you got to keep that in mind. Like, it's just the whole package.
Yeah. All right. I've learned a lot. Any other thoughts before Patreon questions from you guys?
Yeah,
anything we missed?
I have something to say to the viewers. Okay, listen, chat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull you down here. I'm gonna look right at you. Okay, here we go. All right, chat. I'm gonna cover Artosis's face with the chat. I'm gonna speak to you guys. I want you to hear me. Okay.
You watch. He's gonna play a song and get my stream.
Okay,
banned.
no. It's very important. Listen. Okay. The best thing you can do for the content creator. I'm not saying about me. Don't even follow me. Okay, just forget it. The best thing you can do for the content creators you follow is to follow all of their other social media platforms as well. Their Twitters, their YouTubes. Okay. If you have the funds, Patreon. If you don't. Right. It is extremely important that if anything were to happen, that you know where to find these people after the fact. Join their Discords. Keep up with them because they're content creators too now. Whether they like it or not, they're not just Twitch streamers anymore. If they haven't accepted it, they're in denial. Right? The best thing that you could do for them is to go out and follow their other stuff. Subscribe to their YouTubes. Okay? You know, read about their shitposting on Twitter. It's very important. Okay? And because as much as I love Twitch, man, this DMCA shit is a fight I don't think they understand, like, how bad it could be. Or they do, and they're willing to take the fight. And when you take a fight, anyone who's ever been in a fight knows you can lose. Right? If you're not just going to surrender and secede, there's a chance that you lose. And since that's the case, like, the worst thing that could happen is a content creator does all their work on Twitch and they get DMCA'd. Imagine someone that you're watching, that you watch all the time, they get 3 DMCA strikes and it just doesn't come off. Imagine it just doesn't go away and they're just gone from Twitch. And all their, like, they lose like 3/4 of their revenue, and that's it. They're done as a creator, wiped off the face of the earth. So the best thing that you could do for them is go out there and follow their other platforms as well. And for streamers, make sure you're on more than one. You shouldn't just be on Twitch. That should be true even if Twitch was golden. Never put all your eggs in one basket. But for the viewers, I really appreciate it. Okay, and the streamers, the content creators will as well.
Yeah.
Amen.
Can't disagree with that. All right. Anything you want to finish on, Nate, before we jump to Patreon?
It was a hell of a discussion. That's all I'm
It
gonna
really
say.
was.
You know,
very, very enlightening. You guys got me really thinking, even though I basically only stream StarCraft 1 and it feels safe and I haven't been
No, you're
DMCA.
good.
Now you have me scared a little bit.
You're good. As long as you don't sound like some other artist somewhere, and then when you yell really loud, it sounds like a screamo band. You're fine.
there's a building that Terran has that when you click on it, it produces a sound that is in other popular media. Did you know that? Did you know that it is a non-zero percentage chance that something could flag that particular scream as even an incorrect scream?
It would make sense that the Terran players are the only ones that get DMCA.
I have a question though. If I go on YouTube and I record a YouTube video of a salt shaker shaking salt, can I get all of the Terran streamers banned?
Maybe. You
Myself
can claim all their
included.
revenue.
I can DMCA myself. You think? I think we could do it.
And cause a feedback loop, destroy the universe. Sounds fun.
Perfect. Then all the Terran streamers will DMCA my salt shaker video. Yeah, and then it'll just keep going around. Okay.
You guys are making me want to start DMCAing people as an entity on YouTube. All right.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm never opening your
right.
content ever again, dude. That's it.
Well, thank you guys for enlightening us on that and letting everyone know about it. Definitely learned a lot more than I knew going in. I guess we'll jump over to the Patreon questions. I'm sure people have dropped some. So, guys, if you have any questions for these guys on what we just talked about or whatever else, go ahead, drop by patreon.com/the Pylon Show. All right, let's get into it. Knocked Cop asks, I watched Falcon Paladin cast a replay with carbot skins yesterday. I noticed there hasn't been any big turns of those skins on the main stream. What happened? Do you think there could be any room for a second stream that duplicates the main stream but has carbot skins? I don't think that is technically doable. You have to choose the carbot skins. I don't think that the observer has any way. Or maybe if you put them on as an observer, would it show up like that?
I mean, to implement something like that, you'd be going outside the constraints of the WCS game heart. So would tournaments would even permit you to do it, right? Like, who are you entrusting to do this? How do you make sure it's secure? Nothing weird's getting baked into it, etc.
Well,
sounds cool, but I mean, technically it should be possible.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I think he's talking about the Brood War because it's a skin set that you can just play on, which puts your whole game into it. So I guess if you were the observer, you could, but the observer would have to follow the main observer somehow to line up with commentary or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's what you do. You pay the same observer a little bit more money, and he has 2 mice, and he just has 2 threads he's observing, 2 PCs, and every time he moves one mice, it moves the other mouse. And he just observes 2
different synchronize
streams.
it with like a KVM across.
Yep.
There you go. Boom. Yes, possible.
Yeah, I guess that would be possible. I just wonder, I don't think it would increase viewership that much. Like, probably not enough, right?
You're talking about adding a lot of steps for something that will not likely generate any return.
Yeah.
And that's easier than coding it into the game. That would be incredible.
And like the carbot skins are really cool, but I think people would prefer regular skins. I don't know. I personally do. Some people come in and ask, like, why don't you ever play with carbot skins? And it's like, well, they're actually very good. But it's like, I don't know, we're all used to the regular skins and prefer them, I guess.
Yeah. Do you want to play the game completely like that forever?
Yeah, I would get annoyed. And actually, there's some visibility issues that exist in StarCraft Remastered that the carbot skins help with. It's like easier to see things under Darkswarm. So it's like there's actually pluses, but literally nobody has switched to them as far as high-level players. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you for the question. It's a good idea. Next question. Paragleber asks, what are your thoughts on the SBMM controversy in Call of Duty that's skill-based matchmaking? TLDR, many good players in COD think it's unfair if they get matched with other good players. They think they should be matched with random players so that they can dominate their games. Personally, I find this really bizarre. What do you guys think about that? Have you heard about this?
I hear Nate's take first. Let's go.
It's just fucking dumb, man. You get to be privileged enough to be not only good at a video game, but good enough to make money at it. And your complaint is that the game matches you against people that are going to be competitive against you.
Oh no!
Like
people are complaining about having matchmaking.
This is literally yes. That is the problem, because there are games that will implement this in other modes so that the guy who installs the game, first of all, there are like shit tons of algorithms and weird shit. I was reading about this recently with how games try to do this, but there's a thing called player retention. And if you can it's not easy to get someone to install your game, right? Especially if it costs money. But let's assume your game's free to play and Johnny O boots the game up, right? The best case scenario for you as a game developer is that Johnny O has a fantastic time playing your game. He boots it up. He's like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Maybe he dies early in his first game or whatever. Let's assume it's like a battle royale. And he's like, okay, he's like, that was kind of cool though, because like I killed one person, right? What these people would prefer, what the problem with this type of thing is, these people want to be able to get into lobbies with Johnny O, so that they on their stream can be like, yo guys, up? Just got a 60 frag. Oh, 60 frag. Oh, so fucking sick, guys. Go click. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I got 60 kills, even though it was literally, some 12-year-old who just got his first Xbox for Christmas. He installed the game and immediately got teabagged by me. So don't forget, I'm also the coolest. Go tell all the other streamers they suck eggs, because I'm the best Call of Duty player. That is, in these people's minds, the ideal situation, that they can just queue up for a non-ranked mode and be able to shit on people non-stop. Obviously, companies don't want to just let that happen, because They want players to be encouraged to keep playing, match them against similar people that are also new, similar to like how a game like StarCraft would work, where you play placement matches and it tries to put you against lower level players or newer players. At least, when they're, obviously when there was a time when more new players were coming in, but the point mostly being that you want people to play against people of similar skill because that brings the most enjoyable games. But if you're a Twitch streamer and you get more viewers or donations for winning or doing sick, epic gamer moves, then it behooves you that, of course, you would want to be able to stomp noobs all day because that's going to make you more money. It's the same thing as smurfing, except these people are too lazy to even make a new account. That's how lazy they are. They don't even want to just make a new fucking account. They just want them to turn off the skill base so they can go between ranked games and unranked games without having to put literally any effort at all in to try to mess with the system to get themselves easier matches. No, it's a complete joke. These people should be embarrassed with themselves.
I think you said it better than anyone I've seen.
People should be embarrassed.
They should be fucking embarrassed. Yeah, because Tasteless actually showed me some of the tweets from some of these guys that are big time pro, streamer / YouTuber guys. And I was like, wait, what? They aren't skill-based match made? Like he's like, yeah, they play 12-year-olds all day and just style on them as 30-year-old men that have played FPS for 20 years.
Yeah.
And make a bunch of money on YouTube and streams. And I'm sitting here fucking grinding hundreds of hours of Brood War every fucking month, having the hardest time of my goddamn life keeping a 50% win rate. They should be fucking ashamed and embarrassed that they are styling on 12-year-olds, man. It is insanity.
They don't need it either.
Clown world. They're like, I should be able to just do the 360 no scope against this guy and have 10,000 viewers on Twitch and make $1 million. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking clowns. That is insane. And you're right, though. They should you're going to just have to spend a little bit of time tanking accounts so that you have low MMR that you can still do your stupid stream.
They don't even want to put in the minimum effort to try to cheat the system. They're just attempting to lobby to have it completely reworked so they can play against random people and just get stupidly high wins so that they have to put no effort in for their jobs.
This is how shamefully stupid they are, that we as StarCraft people have to be like, you're so lazy, you won't even do the bare minimum of cheating the MMR system.
Yeah. There's a difference.
You are.
There's a difference between making a new account and being like, I'm going to do some stupid thing to GM where I win the 70 or 80% of my games. No, that is too much work for the professional gamers that are complaining that they don't get to just stomp noobs all day. Yeah.
It's insane. My God. Good question, Paraglieber. I'm glad you brought that up.
I've been waiting to rant about that for a long time.
That's so bad.
It is bad. It's like
awful.
It's really bad.
It shows
grown ass men who make shit tons of money being upset that they can't make more money by stomping noobs.
All the bad players,
No, these people are good at the game too. That's the problem.
Oh, really?
The problem is that they're good. The problem is that it takes a top 1% player and tries to match them against other top 1% players. That's their only issue. They want to play against bottom. It's like if you were like, I want to be able to play ranked StarCraft or unranked and get matched versus literal bronze leaguers. Like, I want to play people who just installed the game. Like, just completely remove matchmaking.
It's much harder to tell the skill difference when you're running around just shooting people. It just makes you look good. Whereas if we get a bronze leaguer, you see immediately, you get to the base, and there'll be like 2 supply depots in the mineral line and nothing else. And you're like, oh, okay, this was fucking stupid. And then I shouldn't even be playing this guy. It's just, this is not even compelling content.
Yeah, because if those people have to play against people at their own level, they only get a handful of kills where they die quickly, and then people leave their stream because they're like, oh, you suck.
Yeah. My God. Thank you, Nate. I loved what you just said all there. Thank you. All right, Paraglieber, thanks for that question. That was very cathartic. Listen to Nate describe this. All right. Up next, Broodweiser asks, why was the ASL cast in a new studio? Is there an issue with the new Afrika studio? No, we just had another show going on the same exact day as the finals, so rented out that other studio. Afrika is making a complete ridiculous amount of content. It doesn't all come over in English, but Afrika TV overall is doing very well, and there's just tons of stuff going on. So the 2 studios on certain days, especially on weekends, sometimes get filled up. So that's why. That's all. Thank you for the question. Saint Zero asks, since ASL just finished up, some ASL related questions. What are your thoughts on Flash random after seeing it? Does Flash being the best Protoss hurt your soul? Was Mini actually a top Protoss, or was that a flash of overachieving a few seasons back? Can someone be the next King of Zerg? Okay, so first up, can someone be the next King of Zerg? Yes. Was Mini actually a top Protoss, or is that a flash of overachieving a few seasons back? No, I think he is. I think he is one of the top Protosses. It's just StarCraft is hard, and he just didn't get quite as far in the more recent seasons. But he's very, very, very good. Does Flash being the best Protoss hurt your soul? No, it's cathartic when he destroys people with Protoss because it just backs up everything I've ever said. And my thoughts on Flash random after seeing it. I don't know if you guys followed it at all, but Flash got top 4 with random.
I heard.
He literally
I've
didn't even
seen
lose
this.
a game going into the top 4, so he gets a seed into the next season, playing whatever he wants. It's like it's very cool and very exciting, but it's really clowny, and it kind of reflects a lot of what I mean I talk about, or any other streamer talks about, when we hit random players on ladder, because it's so random. There's no coverall builds, and a lot of fans seem to think that there are, and you can see it at the pro level where it's like, yeah, Flash's Zerg isn't as good as another person's Zerg, but like he gets Zerg on the right map and then just wins automatically. The game is already over because of what he spawned, because you have to be like, well, 2/3 of the time they're not Zerg, so I have to prepare for that more. But he gets Zerg and then he wins, and it's like, so it's been exciting, it's been cool, and I'm kind of glad that he did it. But at the same time, I'm like, I would prefer personally to have him back at Terran, because it makes so much volatility. There is, when he is playing as random, it's just like, we're just looking, okay, he spawned as this. Now, what are the opening build orders? Oh, Flash won. Look at that. Oh, Flash lost. Look at that. And that's like how almost all the games were decided. So it was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Randomness is silly, I think. Did you guys watch Flash's random craziness? It's okay.
No, I just think about it as a Jets fan watching Brady play on the Bucks and all the old fans being very angry, and I'm like, I like that Flash is going and doing his own thing, because
yeah,
there's a little, there's some joy in seeing all the people that doubted him be wrong, and I live for that.
That's true. Like when he decided to switch to random, there's this compilation of all the pros being like, he's never going to be able to do it. And then as he played through the tournament, everyone was predicting, they're like, fuck, he's going to win. Like, he's going to win ASL. Like, everyone thought he was going to go to the finals. Like, they poll the pros. Who do you think's going to win this match? Like, everyone was saying, oh, Flash has got it now. Like, he's unstoppable. This is ridiculous. So it was funny to watch that turnaround. All right. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Say 0. Next one up. Red Gunner Guy asks, best thing to do for creators, give situation TLDR. Can play StarCraft 2 back soundtrack on stream. Why lots X Brood War / StarCraft 2 pros go poker, Boxer go poker? No. You all like poker? Mr. Nate, how did you get into BC? UpATree thoughts on BC in meta? All how dogs? Agree on IT, first term, rank roulette, awesome thoughts. Wow, he really cut a lot of words out of these sentences
That's a lot.
to get maximum value.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I feel like we did a good job of covering everything. I'm ready to skip the TLDR. The soundtrack question gets interesting because there are game developers. I know specifically Square Enix has come out and said that you are not to play music from cutscenes or certain areas of Final Fantasy 14 online, their big online game, and I believe their single player games as well. This may also extend to, you're not allowed to play those songs over your stream unless you are explicitly experiencing it through the game.
No way.
They maintain their rights. They maintain their rights. I saw this recently posted by I've been playing that game for a bit, and one of the people that I follow was posting about it. But yeah, so they're like, and actually certain areas in the game, they advise you to just not have the music on at all, because they're like, certain tracks we don't want anybody broadcasting. Period. Even ones that just show up in the game, but not all of them. So just avoid those 1 or 2 songs that maybe are in a cutscene.
They have no way of determining that per game though, currently.
Not yet.
So like not yet. So you're
That's
like
wild though. Yeah.
Yeah, it is wild.
It doesn't really matter whether
I have
they
a
can
couple
enforce
Final
it.
Fantasy covers, which sucks that I have to remove them then.
It's the same thing as that Nintendo update, right? Like just because those people in Atlas, just because they haven't DMCA'd anybody yet, it doesn't, you've just added another mine in the minefield. Don't step on it. Good luck.
Wow.
This is why I was saying, man, that it's on Twitch. Like it's Twitch's fucking problem, because these companies have too many random ass like stipulations. You could never keep up with it all. It's impossible.
I'll try to find it for you too.
Imagine being a fucking variety streamer. Like part of your variety streaming job is just to read the EULA of every new game that you're gonna play. Like it's impossible. Like it's not gonna happen.
Here you go. I'm gonna post it in the chat.
But you can play SE2 songs in the background though, because
probably fine.
because Blizzard gave permission.
Another part of the question, Nate, how did you start liking BCs, and what do you guys think about BCs in the meta?
I saw Gumiho building them on his stream late at night, and I was like, I didn't know you could build these, and then I started building them.
Sick. Okay. UpATree, do you have a dog?
My parents have a dog. Yeah, his name is George. He's a hound.
Is he a good boy?
Yeah, until his hounds, like if they smell something, like their nose takes over their brain. So he's good till his nose picks up on something. Then he's like gone. Okay. He just takes off like a rocket. He can't fight it. And then he's like scared because he's like ended up somewhere and he has no idea where he ended up. And he like looks around and he's like, holy shit, I don't know where I am.
Okay. And
he can be a good boy though.
Yeah. Well, that was a more weighted answer than I thought.
Yeah, because when you say is he a good boy, like can I say he is? He's a shithead, but he's good.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes more sense. I'm like, even if my dog was a bad boy, I'd be like, oh, he's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
My dog's a good boy.
He's a little bit of a shithead, you know?
How's your dog, Nate?
He is fantastic. We actually we got him in January, so he's basically spent his whole life in lockdown with us. So we wanted to spoil him because he's about to turn 1 year old. So we found this really nice place nearby where he can just kind of like play with other dogs and stuff. So we got him like just a couple of days to go there and just kind of chill, run around, get it all out, because it hasn't been easy going to like dog parks or anything like that. Trying to stay away from people and not come into contact has not been something that's been super easy. So he's on a little vacation right now. He's just chilling. He's good though. He's been fantastic.
Cool. All right. And agree on YouTube. Hearthstone Rank Roulette, awesome. Thoughts? Have you guys seen Hearthstone's show, Rank Roulette?
Yeah, I've been on it.
That's awesome.
That's I love it. Yeah,
high quality. I watched your episode, Dan. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think I watched Sal's too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty tilted that Loco beat my score though.
So. Oh, I didn't see all of his. What did he get?
He's very smart.
He got like 11.
Didn't we get 11?
We got 13.
No, we have 11. I thought.
Oh, well then he got 9. Whatever, he beat us by 2. Whatever.
Yeah, that's my little boy on stream. That's my baby boy right there.
He's a cutie.
Oh, I love him so much.
He's cute.
I love that position.
That's usually where he is when we're doing these shows. He's just right there next to my foot, curled up, my little cinnamon bun.
There's also a question in here about poker. Do you guys like poker?
I play with the boys like every couple weeks, but yeah, lately. I lose all my money. It's fun.
When I was 19 years old, I installed Poker Night at the inventory specifically so I could unlock the Demo Man Stunner Shades in Team Fortress 2. That is the only poker experience that I have because it was the only way to get that skin without going on the Steam Marketplace, where it was sold for way more than the price of a copy of Poker Night at the inventory. There you go. That's my poker story.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, that's not that much. I like poker. I used to like it a lot. Then I didn't play it for a long time, but I kind of back into it a little bit. I've done a little bit of poker casting, and it's a great game. It relates to StarCraft a lot, so I think that's why StarCraft people dig it. I think you can do a lot of studying in poker that can help you in StarCraft, and vice versa. All right, thank you for the 40 questions with all the prepositions taken out to fit them. All right, moving on. Fear Dragon asks, hi, a longtime viewer, first-time fan. Why don't you just use music and content you have rights to? especially UpATreeZelda, who's basically just a budget juggernaut Jason, in my humble opinion. Jason should copyright strike UpATreeZelda's stream off of Twitch. Thanks, a breath of fresh air.
I'd play the MLG air horn, but I don't want your stream to get DMCA'd, so.
Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Someone owns that. Your life's over. Sorry.
Oh, you're ruining my stream!
Oh shit! I'm so sorry, dude. It's okay. I hummed the circus theme, so you're fucked anyway. So it's okay. It's your second strike today.
Shit!
Just wait until
man.
Just wait until I get my real world fame when I become the first guy to get banned for one of my impersonations being too accurate, and then I get DMCA'd by Cartoon fucking Network over a Rick and Morty impression.
Oh my god, I figured out how to ban Artosis. Chat. Okay, so what you do is you say something terrible in Artosis chat, you get banned. You submit an unbanned request. The lyrics are Eminem lyrics. Okay? You literally have Artosis read them and get instantly DMCA'd for singing Rap God. Oh my god, it's perfect. He won't know. He won't understand.
I'm not too old for Eminem. I know who Eminem is. Thank you.
Yeah, but you won't know the lyrics. Okay, we'll pick a different artist. You got to pick a low key one. All right, I got you. I'm with you, chat. We're good.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Fear Dragon. I like the reaction there. That was good. Optional player asks, no question today. I know this year has been tough on everyone, myself included, lots of anxiety and stress. I just hope everyone takes a moment to appreciate the now they're in. Take a deep breath and remember, we're all in this together as one big StarCraft family. Much love and appreciation.
And cheers to that.
Thank you, optional player. Much appreciation for you as well. Some drunk Canadian asks, you guys know a thing or two about streaming? As a 10-viewer Andy who casts exclusively tournaments I have organized, is it worth it dropping out of the Twitch affiliate program so I can multi-stream on off different platforms, Facebook/YouTube? Goal is to grow audience. Sending much love from my COVID isolation room.
Okay. I literally talked about this today on stream. So in my brain, okay? In my brain, affiliate to partner is actually the one place that exclusivity is fine. Partners who have like a couple hundred viewers or whatever already and are making money on Twitch is like the place where you wish you were restreaming, because you have the income, and then you also wish that you could stream on YouTube and grow it passively at the same time, and you could feed off the audiences. But if you're a 10-viewer Andy, the odds that your content, either of your contents on Twitch or YouTube, is getting that much traction is low. So the fact that you can actually make any kind of income on Twitch is more important than actually growing like on both. And the reason I feel that way is because you could take the casts that you're doing and put them on YouTube anyway. The fact that they're live doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
I could grow them passively anyway. The live aspect isn't likely to get traction on YouTube because you have like 10 viewers on Twitch, right? So if you think about it this way, here's a good way to put it. So my streams get about 2,000, like 1,500 to 2,000 views. I know this because it now shows you that in the VOD. My YouTube videos, if they're StarCraft games I've played, they get 50 views, right? Even though my subscribers on YouTube isn't like the lowest or whatever. So the amount of conversions, you can imagine that if you have 15 viewers on Twitch, you're like, if you get like 20 or 30 views on Twitch, your views on YouTube are going to be like 1 or 2, right, for that conversion. So it's better to passively grow the YouTube with your casts. You do the thumbnail up nice, do the title nice, and just focus on the live streaming on Twitch. So it's like kind of this really shitty position that you're in, because as soon as you become partner and you have that many viewers, you can start to transition people over to YouTube, grow your YouTube, and then your YouTube can grow your Twitch. But like before that, the fact that you're affiliate already is more important than than growing both at the same time at like live, right? That's my opinion anyway. Like you want to use your casts to grow your YouTube passively, but stream on Twitch because you can make money on it, period. You can't make money on YouTube yet. So there's no point in trying to grow the live audience. On YouTube, you're just trying to grow the audience you reach, period. You're not just trying to get more. You're not, the kind of content consumed there is not live generally. So people tend to schedule that into their life as it is. So if I were you, I would keep doing your casts on Twitch and put them on YouTube 24 hours later. And that's probably the way to go about it. I don't know if you guys disagree.
I gotta say, like, I think I disagree.
Okay, go.
I think if you're like a, what do you call it, 10 viewer Andy, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and your goal is to start making some money on Twitch, then you shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing it anyways. Because if your goal when you're that small is making money, I think that's reverse. You should only focus on growing.
Right.
When you're very small, and the beginning monies that you make anyways when you're really small and just entering affiliate programs and stuff
Yeah.
are not enough to trade any amount of growth for, in my opinion. So
Ah,
I think if I was starting completely fresh, I would probably dual stream for a while on Twitch and YouTube and then decide, especially in this, with what's going on right now with everything, and YouTube is just starting to push into live streaming. They
yeah.
have more discoverability and everything. We don't know, that might end up being bigger than Twitch eventually, right? Like Dr. Disrespect had no problem switching over to that platform,
Yeah.
none whatsoever. A bunch of the biggest streamers in the world right now are over there as well. So I would
Yeah.
probably personally start that, and then when one of them is actually really growing, or if I choose to prefer one of them after trying them for a bit, that's what I would do.
Okay.
That
So
would be my take if I was
my
starting
rebuttal
over.
my rebuttal to that is that discoverability on YouTube is really good for videos, but it's not very good for live streaming.
But the thing is, they will probably fix that, right?
I mean, they've been trying to do it for like 4 years and they haven't.
In the last year, you've seen Dr. Disrespect's videos that of after he streams, those videos are getting passed around as if it was a whole VOD in and of itself, as in it like just he uploaded it. Like they're
Yeah,
working
like-
on that, but it's not great at the moment.
The reason that Dr. Disrespect's content like he switched seamlessly was because he's smart and had been building it the whole time. So what
That's
I'm
very
trying to
true.
say is that okay, so let's say Some Drunk has like a couple subs, right? And they can start, if he starts pooling that money, he can buy some new gear and that ups his quality of his production and whatever, right? He can't earn any money on Twitch, period, no matter what, if he isn't an affiliate. So if he like the VODs that you're putting on YouTube are gonna grow as well, like way better than a live stream would anyway. Like that exposure isn't gonna come to you through live unless you're already there broadcasting to a big chunk of people, right? Like if you have a ton of subscribers, broadcasting live to them works. You're just as likely to grow your stream putting up your casts as you are to grow your stream doing live. So in my opinion, if you're an up and coming creator, right, and you're making some money enough to upgrade some of your stuff, supplement your income a little bit, help you like push your content forward, it's better to do that. Now it becomes a bad trade-off when you actually have the subscriber base on YouTube to stream there and have a difference. And now you're locked into Twitch as a partner. That's when you're like in this weird spot. So if you only want to grow though, like I don't think that a live streaming on YouTube as a 0 viewer streamer is going to grow your stream. Period. Personally, because they don't
Well,
push
how
it.
is that going to work on Twitch?
Because Twitch is only for live streaming content. So like if you're in the channels of people who if you get rated, then you start to show up in people's recommended. If you get if you're in channels all the time, you show up in people's recommended. Like
The thing is, you can do all of that at the same time as streaming
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I
Whereas
mean,
when you're
could.
saying like if you have 3 subs or something, you start making money to upgrade the stream. I think that it's more worth it to just test the YouTube waters
Yeah,
than
you
to try
could
to make
revoke
that
it.
tiny amount of money.
You could revoke it and try for a while. I guess it really
Yeah.
depends on how many subs you have. I just know that like a well-placed YouTube video can just grow on its own
Mhm.
and bring in subscribers and bring in views. Whereas live streaming content just really doesn't perform the same way on YouTube. So I don't know if it's worth giving up the opportunity to potentially get partner and to grow your stream on Twitch with affiliate with emotes and whatever and what you offer to your viewers, right? Because by giving up affiliate, you don't just give up the income. You also give up the rewards that the viewers get as well. Right? You
Yeah.
give up emote slots, loyalty, like those hype moments. You give up all of those things as well.
Yeah, like I do see that. I just think that people aren't tuning into a stream for that primarily. So personally, I would test the waters, but you got to do what you think. Some drunk Canadian.
Yeah, I mean,
think we
you can
both
do
have good
either,
points.
and I wouldn't blame you. It's just that would be my take personally. Like, I could be wrong. I haven't done it, but like the logic to me is that as long as you are, it's like investing. Like, as long as you actually are investing and not just say you're going to invest, it works out. So if you actually do stream on Twitch and then actually cut your VODs and actually put them on YouTube religiously, like I'm saying to do, then you're going to be okay. Like, it's going to grow. Right? The live streaming portion, I don't know, like I know that SE2 casts actually do quite well on YouTube because they're consumable in that way very easily, right? So I don't know. It could be that live streaming on both is a better choice, especially if your main income isn't from streaming. Then it's possible that that's the better way.
Well, I would say like once you actually start to grow a decent amount, it's probably never good to stream to multiple platforms. That doesn't make sense. You should focus in one area for one thing. You need things differentiated most likely. But
Well,
I think
I don't know about
testing
that.
is always reasonable.
I mean, if I'm streaming to YouTube, like if Twitch is my focus, but I just get to stream to YouTube for nothing, it's going to be better than not streaming to YouTube at all. Like, I think that's pretty safe to say. But you
I don't
can't.
know, because eventually the quality of your content is what comes into play, right? If you
I
have
mean,
a
yeah.
whole set of people that you're not interacting with or whatever, or you have a
Yeah.
fragmented chat, that can be bad.
Or you can have both chats open. Like that's a doable thing.
Yeah, but that's a fragmented chat.
Yeah, you're fragmenting.
You could say that
Listen,
too, yeah.
I mean, if you want to be big in any of this type of shit, it's the same thing as packing up your crap and going to some place and being like, I'm gonna go do Broadway or one of this, except it's on the internet. All right, you're gonna need to commit a lot to whatever it is that you think you're good at and you're gonna want to do. And as you know, I'm sure you're a nice guy and all that, but starting with any sort of general advice to like try and do high level things like that is just that's not something that I would suggest, honestly. Like, if you're an affiliate and you're happy with that and you think that you have something that's good, then I would just keep working on it, build yourself up, get to partner, then think about if you want to try to expand what you're doing. Because at the very base minimum, you're going to need to build up a community of people. They're not going to care. They're not going to give a fuck about you if your angle coming into it is, guys, I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm doing all of these things. Someone's going to look at you and be like, this guy has... And I don't mean this in any mean way, but from a lay perspective, if I just saw somebody who had this way overly complex setup of everything and they've got 5 viewers, I'd be like, I don't know who this person thinks they are. This doesn't strike me as a genuine person. This doesn't strike me as a guy who's like, I want to play video games with people on the internet. This looks like somebody who is setting up like a business that doesn't have an audience or customers and just hoping that because they're doing things that other popular people do, that they're just money's just gonna start pouring in.
Yeah, definitely
like,
agree with that.
The best people that you watch are going to be, you know, passionate individuals that have really poured themselves into it. And if someone tells me that they're like, well, I want to get into streaming and I want to make sure that when I get big, I've got all this. I'm like, no, if you're already thinking that far ahead, you failed. You know, everything is about laying the foundation and building yourself and establishing yourself and actually being something that isn't just this cookie cutter, like, oh, this is what everyone does type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I hope that helps some drunk Canadian, even though it's some different points of view. I think they're all really valid. All right. Next question. Grandpa Wacho asks, what do you love and hate about Twitch as a platform and as a company? Now let's imagine for a moment that Twitch is shut down by Amazon due to massive lawsuits from DMCA. What happens to streamers and what other platforms would they go to? Is there a StarCraft 2/Brood War scene outside of Africa/Twitch?
Who wants to go first?
Go right ahead. So.
Okay. I love a lot of the crap that Twitch does. Actually, they do a lot of really good stuff. I hate the way that they do ads right now. I love the way they're talking about doing ads, especially when you look at the partner Discord and the stuff the teams are doing. I think they did that in the wrong direction. I hate the way that they communicate. I love their chat. Chat's really good. The website looks quite nice. I have to say that most of the stuff Twitch does, like, the thing is that when you complain about a thing, it's because that, like, there's a glaring a glaring problem, and it's easy to hate it. But I actually do love like most of what Twitch does because I don't complain about it. Like it's just there. It works flawlessly in a lot of ways. Like the layout is functional, and a lot of it is it serves the streamers quite well. I think that they could work on discoverability, but even that is like doing pretty well. So yeah, like I love quite a bit about what Twitch is doing. On the topic of Brood War, there's like a Brood War and SC2. There's a huge community on YouTube already, so most people will go to YouTube. Like YouTube is the natural competitor and next step if that was the case.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't have a tremendous amount to say on this because I work with Twitch still on a lot of things, and I have friends, and I know a lot of people that work with Twitch. I will give a similar answer to how I would talk about something else that I guess is like a hot button issue or whatnot. But I am in love with the spirit of Twitch. The idea of Twitch is a place where people come together and they play video games and they just hang out. At its core, that's what Twitch is. That's what makes Twitch a cool place. Is because on a Friday night, if you didn't have plans or someone canceled on you, you can grab a beer, open up Twitch, and someone will be just hanging out. And you can do that, and you can share that experience with other people, right? And maybe for you, that's how you like to spend your time. Maybe you make a point of spending time like that. It's awesome, right? For a streamer, it's like, hey, I get to sit down, I get to play games and talk to people. The reality, right? The reality of it is that it's not, it's there's a whole business around it, and Twitch is not a charity. And I think the way that they've attempted to approach being a business, especially the last few years, has been extremely detrimental to the health of that idea of Twitch being a place to go and hang out, because it's slowly turning into watching TV. You lose the interactive element when you have to plan out all of these, crazy amounts of forced ads that they want on everybody. You have to plan out everything that you're going to do now because you have to be worried about, I can't just put on a song, right? Okay, guys, let's all just chill out. I'm going to play this game, put some chill beats in the background, right? Like all that sort of thing. You suddenly need to put so much more into it. And I guess, at least from my perspective, I know a lot of other people have said this as well, but you lose the spirit of that interaction that we used to have. At least as a streamer, I've been streaming since 2011, and you lose that closeness with the company, right? Like the whole thing with Twitch used to be a family and all that jazz, and then I find out like, I can't get my hoodie replaced, but some person who kissed this random guy's ass 3 months ago got one. You know what I mean? And you're like, everything's just corporate, right? It's all about making money and kind of pushing things out. But I still love the spirit of Twitch. I think that Twitch is awesome. I love the way that you said it earlier, Sal, but I've had some of the best moments and memories in my life on Twitch. I made my life on Twitch. I had absolutely nothing before I committed, whatever it was I had left to trying to make something of myself here, building a community and all that stuff, which led into the casting and everything else. It all started with Twitch for me. So, I mean, my current opinion is it sucks because there's nothing that I want more than to just be happy on Twitch doing my thing. And it does feel like Twitch is going out of its way to make that more difficult for the people that use the platform these days. And that sucks. I know it's not the people that I know at Twitch's fault. They're not going out of their way to try and ruin everybody's lives, but wherever the orders are coming from, it has a pretty negative impact. But as you're going to get big, other companies are going to get involved. DMCA crap, Amazon's going to buy them and tell them to make more money, and it sucks, but that's, it is what it is. But I pray that at some point a better, newer management or something like that maybe finds a way to kind of claim some of that spirit back while also being a profitable business, if that's possible.
Yeah. For Twitch, like I guess what you guys have told me like today and stuff, and a lot of things that I've heard are things that I'm like, oh damn, it seems like they could do better. And what you described, definitely with the way they've changed in the last years, it just kind of lines up with other things like Blizzard, for instance, right? It's changed. It's not the same as it once was. I used to be very close and talk with them all the time and felt comfortable putting my career in the let's cast video games basket. But as companies get bigger, right, this just seems to always happen where it becomes more corporatized and it's just not close and nice, and how they grew is not how they're going to continue to grow. Well, with that being said, though, I do appreciate Twitch a lot because it kind of is a lot of the things that we talked about today, just randomly by luck, what I like to do on Twitch, I'm not affected by this so far, at least, right? So
Not yet.
for me, luckily, there's not like a bunch of stress going on in my life. I don't know. I'm not super into music anyway, so I just randomly missed this. I listen to Brood War music. I don't know. But I love Twitch because it's like offers this freedom where all the work I'm putting in right now, I'm building something for myself rather than building stuff for other people, right? I don't own GSL. Was I a big hand in helping build that? Yeah, I was. But I've already been paid all I'm ever going to be paid for the days that I worked, right? And hopefully in the future I'll have plenty more days that I'll get paid for still, but I didn't actually gain anything out of that long term. Whereas with something like Twitch, I can make my own content and do that. So I like that. I appreciate that, right? So I guess that's what I like about it. Yeah, if Twitch were to go away, I think that it would mostly everything would just go to YouTube. I can't imagine anything else, honestly.
Right.
I think that different areas could go to different things though. Like for instance, I know that Facebook is actually very popular in South America. Obviously, Africa is where all the Brood War content is. Yeah, but StarCraft 2, I think or in StarCraft 2, English StarCraft 2 would end up on YouTube. Thanks for the question, Grandpa Watcho. Shampoo McTavish asks, how does Patience's robo-heavy style that he introduced a few months ago hold up against the current PvT meta? I don't know if you guys kept track, but Patience basically was like, hey, you can kill all my bases and probes countless times, but I have a lot of robo units. What do you guys think about that? I think it's actually a very old style that he's just kind of rehashing, but
I don't think I've seen. I don't know. I don't think I know that I've seen that.
Yeah, he didn't make it very far in GSL, but it's like he has a very distinct PvT where basically all he does, his micro isn't good, his macro isn't good. He doesn't keep bases alive. He takes a lot of damage from harassment, but he retains his robo units. So eventually he has like 10 robo units. He has like fucking 5 Immortals and 5 Colossus, and he walks across the map and kills Terran. And it's like just this very different, it's this very let's make Terran furious type of way. But
yeah, that sounds dope AF, man.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's something that the theory behind it is solid enough with the power of the units that it should always be okay with minor tweaks to it, in my opinion. All right.
I have to see it. I've been a part-time kitchen builder, dude. I haven't been watching too much StarCraft recently.
Patience PvT probably wouldn't be the first thing you were going after either.
Sadly, no. Mostly just TY games I'm looking for.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the question, Shampoo McTavish. Alessander, the wonderful creator of This Week in StarCraft, and also it was her birthday this week. Happy birthday to Alessander. Thank you so much for helping us out always. She leaves a question here. Thoughts on our NA Scene Pros Solar Armani Dream You Thermal Max Pack sort of the Riddler was the highest ranking NA player in sight this week playing in NA tournaments open to anyone. In Cheesadelphia quals so far, Vindicta is the only American player along with Bomber, Solar, Mana, Bly, and Goblin.
Excellent.
What do you guys think about the NA server always getting flooded because everyone has okayish ping to it?
That makes sense. That's the way that
GSL qualifier light, bro. Like I said in the pre-show, that's what it is. It's a GSL qualifier light. Yeah. Good shit.
It's kind of the way it is, I guess. It's too bad because the ladder
there's
practice
nothing you can really do
current.
about it. Yeah. There's just nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
People need to make money.
It's true. Kind of sad. But...
Yeah. I mean, Cheesadelphia was always protected by the fact that the qualifiers were LAN. And now that that's not the case, it just suffers from being another EPTNA. They really should have region locked it. They made a mistake, in my opinion. Like it's what separated them, in my opinion.
Is the scene big enough to separate the things like that aren't the strict regional areas? If it's not literally EPT restriction, is it?
Well, Cheesadelphia, the local, like when people showed up to Cheesadelphia, there's always like 60, 70 people. Like a lot of people played in the qualifiers. Like it wasn't a small thing, and it's been growing every year. Cheesadelphia is like one of those tournaments that's grown every single year.
Yeah, but I just mean if they're forced to be online, though. Yeah, I guess at that point
if they're forced to be online, then it's like a tough. It's a tough sell, I know.
I'm sure they know they'll probably have more people watch some of the games that people are getting excited about.
Yeah, maybe
more popular.
Maybe
players.
that is why they did it.
but I got nothing else.
Could be.
Everybody's hurting right now, right? So if they need to do that to make more money to keep themselves going, then by all means do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alessandro, for the question. Maybe something we'll talk about in a future episode is what's going on with region lock and stuff. Anyways, I think that's becoming an interesting topic. Not for this episode. Walk Like a Human asks, my wife is pregnant and was induced an hour ago. Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
While she sleeps and we wait in the hospital, I'm sitting here in the dark watching the Pylon show. Looking forward to my future StarCraft / RTS champion in less than 24 hours. Wish us luck.
Good
Congratulations,
luck, dude.
man.
Yo, good luck, man. Congratulations. That's some.
Been through that a few times, to say the least. And yeah, you're gonna love it. Being a dad is fantastic. Okay. Yeah, best of luck. Let us know how it goes in the name. Ron asks, remember to floss, folks. Edit, palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
DMCA!
Was that too much? No, that was less than 3 seconds. It's fair use. Thank you,
Bot doesn't care, man. It's all over, bro.
Done. You can't say words in a certain
God.
order. I'm like, ah!
Taken out by the Twitch chat once again.
They're always after me. Refrigerator asks, a big thank you for the discussion. Insightful and learned a ton today. Favorite StarCraft critter? Favorite StarCraft critter to kill? That's the last question. Do you guys have a favorite critter and a favorite one to kill?
What sick monster kills the critters? What's wrong with you people?
There was an UpATreeZelda bot on Blackpink. Avex put an UpATreeZelda bot on Blackpink, and it's my favorite critter.
No, there's an Artosilope on some map.
Yeah. So like my favorite unit to kill, my one favorite critter to kill is also the UpATreeZelda bot. It's just poetic, you know. I'm probably gonna, if there's a Protoss, I'm just putting it out of his misery because we're gonna die one way or the other.
All right. There's one of the ladder maps has Ursidons, a lot of them on it, and I kill them always.
What the hell's wrong with you, man?
Why?
In Brood War, they will get in your way. They won't move. If you tell them to tell someone to build a building, and it's in the way, it doesn't move.
Then mind control it and make it move, man. Why are you killing them?
I don't play the right race to mind control, my friend.
Oh, there's your problem.
No, I actually kill them too quick. Sometimes I'm killing one because if I see it, I just kill it. And so sometimes I'm like moving a vulture around the side of the map and I kill one and I'm like, oh wait, that was stupid. He can walk by in the next 10 seconds and see the carcass and know that I have a vulture on the map. So it's a fault to some degree. But I'm like, I always kill him. All right, it looks like we actually had one more last second question from Fart. Fart asks, is there a 1% chance Amazon just buys out / creates its own record labels? Never mess with the overlord Amazon?
I will say no, mostly
1%?
only on the premise that 99% of what they do is distributing other people's stuff outside of the current video content that they make on their own, like The Boys. But other than that, they're a distribution conduit mostly. I don't see them doing that.
The right answer there is probably that they can't because they get hit with antitrust like almost immediately.
Oh yeah, that's
right. Like you can't if you're Walmart, you can't run around buying every single. They already are in shit for doing things like if I make a keyboard, right, and I like have a supplier.
Amazon Basics.
Yeah, if I have a distributor or supplier, Amazon will go to my supplier and undercut me and then sell it as Amazon Basics. Like they're in shit for that already. So like the odds that they buy out record labels or like start their own record labels to compete with the record industry on a store where they sell records is highly unlikely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? You can't really do that.
Too much.
The famously enforced antitrust laws. Well, Twitter, I think they're all the major tech companies are in Senate right now, right? No? I thought like Jack Dorsey and shit literally just went to hearings today. Like they've been in hot water recently. Yeah, they are.
There's definitely talks going on.
They may be paying the piper pretty fucking soon. But they could also just lobby for millions of dollars and then everyone will just leave them alone. We'll see.
Yeah. Or maybe it's Mama Bell and we get a big explosion. Who knows?
All right. Thank you for the question, Fart. Thank you all of our patrons for your questions and unending support. We really appreciate it, especially our $100 tier, Astro Finn and Jerry Wang, and our $1,000 God tier, Shane. Thank you guys all so much. We really appreciate you.
Way to go, buddy.
Amazing. Single-handedly running the Pylon show almost. Yeah, thanks everyone for that. And yeah, we're going to be going into This Week in StarCraft in just a moment. We are kind of trying out some new ways to take a look at that. We're going to have the wonderful Creighton Olsen take a look at that again. But before that, where can people find you guys? Nate, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch and I'm on Twitter at Nathanias. I post dank memes like that silly Command Center floating tweet that's close to 1 million impressions. That's me. Always looking for dumb shit to say. And if you want something to brighten your day, lots of pictures of my incredibly adorable golden retriever. His name is Lewis, and he is my baby boy. I love him. He is such a good, such a good dog. And I'm also, like I said, I'm on Twitch at Nathanias. I've been playing a lot of League of Legends lately. And yeah, if that sounds like your kind of thing, come say hi.
Great. Sal, what about you?
Okay, so you can find me on like UpATreeZelda on 3 places, like Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And yeah, basically the rants I went on today, I could be losing to Zerg and I'll still give them to you. Okay. Twitch chat proved to me today that I can repeat. I will not be baited 5 times in a row and still be baited. So yeah, if you wanna shitpost with me and talk some shit while I lose some video games, you're free to come check that out. I'm building the YouTube up. I do a weekly vlog. It's now late, just like I am every day. And what else? That's pretty much it. Yeah. And good luck to all the content creators out there.
Great. Thank you so much. Big cheers to the entire Pylon Show team. And of course, happy birthday, Alessander. She makes This Week in StarCraft a giant part of the show each and every week. So send her some love, guys. Let's go ahead and get into This Week in StarCraft.
Hello and welcome back to This Week in StarCraft. This week, we have at least 35 events to talk about, tons of stuff on the calendar, and a really exciting week in both StarCraft 2 and Brood War. So without any further ado, let's hop straight in and talk about some of the biggest events going on this week in the world of StarCraft. Of course, we start with our next slide overlooking 4 of the big things to look out for this week, starting with the ESL Open Cups. We'll talk about what happened this Monday and what to expect as the ESL Open Cups continue. In addition to that, we've got the Into the Alpha X Pro Circuit 4, which is a very exciting series featuring, as you can see there in the byline, Cure, Rogue, Time, and Zune. Some big players. The possibly the greatest named StarCraft 2 event in the world, the Inglorious Best Nerds, coming up next. And then, of course, Cheeseadelphia has started up and is on its way through. Again, we'll discuss all of these in detail here in a little bit. Starting with the ESL Open Cups. Coming up soon from ESL, we have got, of course, Asia, Europe, and America every week, week after week. This overlay slide shows that Big Gabe, no surprise, in the leading spot there with 235 overall ESL points. But look at who is right behind him, hot on his heels. Solar, who has been putting in the grind both on the Korea and North America server, and occasionally even hopping over to EU to steal some of those points away. This could be a really interesting race as the end of the year approaches. You think Solar can overtake Big Gabe? Ooh. Well, he's certainly trying his best. It looks like he skipped the Korea event this week, but Rogue was able to take out Dark 3-1 in that grand finals. A good run, of course, in the bottom of the bracket by Time. I will say, it seems like Time and Special hit each other in this bracket somewhere in like the round of 8 every week. I feel like in the ESL Korea Open Cup. Special does usually put up a good fight. Time 2-0'd him this time, though, and I was able to make it to the semifinals and guaranteed himself $50. So Rogue, Byun, Dark, and Time, your semifinals today. And of course, this ESL Weekly for Korea, very often brought to you by the Cranky Ducklings team, Wardy, Legend DK, and Inu in Korean. ESL EU Open Cups happening Monday at, I know it's 11 o'clock in the morning for me. I think that's 5 o'clock p.m. GMT for you British and European folks out there. Looks like no surprises this week besides Big Gabe getting knocked out quite quite early. Now, I was very fortunate to be joined this week by some great casters, and as you can see, there's a huge lineup of folks covering the EU event. Roddy, Wardy, Indy, Steadfast, Chicken Man, PvP, ZG, O Gaming, the Novak, and myself, all covering this event. I was very fortunate to follow Soul's run all the way to the grand finals, taking out Bly, taking out Hero Marine, taking out Mana, a sick run from Soul. And then, unfortunately, we got to the grand finals, and as is the rich tradition in StarCraft 2, Showtime kind of bopped him in a 3-0. They were 3 pretty quick games, but still a great showing from Soul. I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be back next week with a lot more to show for it. And of course, the ESL Cup. You know, it says NA on the slide. Dolan is the best performing NA player, and one of only 3 NA players to make it to the round of 16. Dolan makes it to the round of 8. Dolan, the Riddler, Creature, and Epic, the only 4 players to make it to the round of 16 from North America. Everyone else repping Korea or EU there. Woof. A rough day for North American players as Solar again steals some of those points away and edges ever closer to Big Gabe. So if each win is worth 10 points and Solar's at 180 and Big Gabe's at 235, Solar's got to win 13 more open cups to overcome him. I'm not a math guy. Somebody can check that for me. I think that math's right, though. So after the ESL Open Cup weeklies here, we move on to our next big event, the Into the Alpha X Pro Circuit number 4. This is a great little cooperation between the Into the clan in Korea and Alpha X with a number of other folks that help them out here. Trap and Cure winning Group A, and I believe by the time that you guys hear this, the results of Bunny, Dark, Ragnarok, and Rogue will be finished up. Of course, this segment is pre-recorded earlier in the day, so I don't know who wins that. I'm going to put my money on Rogue and Bunny, though. I think Dark's going to lose 0-2-0-4. Dark's going to drop every single map. He's going to pull his drones every time, and it's never going to work. Just a guess. But I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go. Anyway, we'll see which 2 players join Trap and Cure in that semifinals, which does start up next week. And what is possibly, you know, I'm a guy who loves his fun tournament names and especially loves his fun tournament formats. And let me tell you, the O Gaming team has absolutely murdering it with the inglorious Best Nerds. I can't get enough of that. It's so good. Featuring, of course, Clem and Raynor, the young guns on one team, up against Marine Lord and Cyril, the old men of StarCraft 2. They're like in their early 20s, and I'm, 67 years old. Anyway, Marine Lord and Cyril versus Clem and Raynor. And if you guys have not checked out this event yet, go take a look at the format for this event. It looks so flippin' cool, man. So part 1 is the Alliance. It's a 2v2 best of 3, and then it's the back to Wings of Liberty. The Terran player stays on one base while the Zerg, and they have to hold out for as long as they can against the Zerg player. Whoever holds out longer, there's like a point system for each round of the tournament. And then part 3 is Treason, which is Archon mode, which is the Zerg players against the Terran players, so they swap teams. And then there's so it's a 2v2 Archon mode, Terran on one side, Zerg on the other, and then the winners of the Archon mode go on to face each other. It's going to be crazy. And then part 4, the real deal, which is like actually, standard one-on-one. If you guys have not marked this off on your calendar, this looks like it's going to be one of the most fun formats I've seen in a long time. And I cannot wait for the O Gaming crew to bring you all the action. I hear they're still looking for a North American commentator. So, hey, O Gaming, give me a call. Cheeseadelphia, welcome back, Cheeseadelphia. Joe and the crew putting on another amazing cast with Fear Dragon and Tempo leading the charge. We've already had Qualifier 1. Qualifier number 2 is on November 21st. Qualifier number 3, I believe, in December. And then the actual full Cheeseadelphia, of course, will be January, I believe, 21st is the date. You can check out all that information on the Liquipedia. By the way, if you guys are not following the links on this show notes, go to thepylonshow.com, click on the show links button, or the show notes button, and you can click on all the links on the bottom ribbon, and you can see the Liquipedia, TL, Twitch, Challenge, Matcherinos, Twitters, everything for all these events. 8 incredible qualified players already. I mean, look, that is a who's who of scary players: Goblin, Mana, Max Pack, Shutdown, Bomber, Vindicta, Bly, and Solar. Oh, man. And of course, as we said, Fear Dragon and Tempo, two of the most hype StarCraft 2 commentators in the world, bringing you the greatest action. So this is open qualifiers. Get in here, sign up on November 21st. Will be the second qualifier where 8 more players will move on. Finally, after those big 4 events, we have a number of A and B tier tournaments that are going to be happening as well. Of course, well, A and B tier tournaments. DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters 2020 Winter just finished up this week, so if you haven't seen it, sorry, you've just been spoiled. Snape kills Dumbledore, and Cyril kills Stats. These were some insanely good series. I highly recommend Stats Clem, of course, Stats Estrella. Just an insanely good series all around. Big quotes, by the way, from Cyril, he's like Winston Churchill. He is just a quote-making machine. I won't do my Cyril impression because it's not good, but his quote from this one, his first quote was, "I'm obviously expecting to win when I go into events, but it hasn't been going my way lately." I believe he also, another great Cyril quote from this event was, my advice to players would be to win and not to lose. Like, what a Giga Chad. Cyril finally reclaiming his DreamHack crown over Stats, 4-2. The Olimo League is back, a weekly online Korean tournament, usually cast by Maynard. I believe Zombie Grub filled in last week. I think Maynard's back to it this week. But a great run from Byun in the bottom side of the bracket. It's amazing. When you look at the Olimo League results, it's always like, I feel like in the NA and the ESL Open Cups, NA, Korea, and EU, since they're Open Cups, very often I'll be like, well, how difficult was this player's run? Really? How did the seeding go in their favor? The Olimo League is always jammed. I mean, look at this. Creator had to beat Zest, Rogue, and Rag to get to the end of the tournament, and Byun had to beat Hurricane, DRG, and Solar. Are you kidding me? This is some GSL level nonsense. And Byun destroying his opponents, only dropping 1 match to Dongray Gu. So Byun is back, looking good. The OSC King of the Hill Weekly, streamed by me. Not on Wednesdays, though. We just did Wednesdays last week, usually on Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons if you're in EU. A best of 1 format. Christiana with a good run, Mana with a good run this week. But Euthermal stepped in at the last second to defend his crown. Fun fact, Euthermal has the longest win streak in OSC King of the Hill history at 16 wins. So he'll be returning, or at least he'll be invited to return on Saturday to defend his crown and keep that win streak going. So good work from Euthermal. And a quick shout out, of course, to the country of Poland, who had a representative in all of the first 11 matches in the OSC King of the Hill this week. Great work, Poland. The Battle of the Americas is back. North America and Latin America going head to head. I love, if you guys haven't checked out the art there, you can see the North America side has like a Yankee Doodle Uncle Sam hat and a Canadian flag and a maple leaf in the NFL. And the Latin American side has tacos and a guitarist and some maracas and a soccer ball. And that statue of that guy in Brazil who's inviting you to come on in and sit right down and make yourself at home. Love the artwork. Artwork aside, Cham taking things home for Latin America, defeating Nina 3-2 at the grand finals there. Beautiful stuff out of Cham. A good run from Nina though over White Idra Starkiller, and then taking Cham all the way to a match point. So well played by those players. This is a $50 prize pool, and the English stream is by Light VIP and Milk and Cookies over on Cranky Ducklings. If you speak Spanish, check out Enki, and if you speak Portuguese, check out Gustavo Laco. The Aojai Weekly, which is run by Red Gunner Guy, one of the premier tournament organizers over in Southeast Asia. This Aojai Weekly is every Sunday at 9 p.m. KST, and it's for Vietnamese citizens or permanent residents only. Of course, Bistork taking out Batty Azure 3-1 in that grand finals. Congrats to Bistork. NA Ladder Heroes, Fear Dragon's brainchild. Those of you who don't know Ladder Heroes, I highly encourage you to check out. There's a link to the URL in the show notes. Again, thepylonshow.com. And you can click on the URL and just see what Fear Dragon's done. But basically, this tournament rewards players for playing on the ladder and improving their ladder standing and earning ladder points. This tournament, the coolest thing about this tournament in my eyes, and not just that Fear Dragon's encouraging ladder play and stuff, but that this is entirely 100% automated. For those of you who don't know a lot about Fear Dragon, he is one of the most intelligent StarCraft 2 casters, just IQ off the charts, and a phenomenal programmer. And everything about this, the rankings collection, the payment process, everything is apparently, as I understand, 100% hands-off. So Fear Dragon has coded the entire thing, so he doesn't have to touch any buttons, levers, dials, nothing. It just happens. And it's a really cool initiative to encourage folks to play on the ladder a little bit more. Mio Micah staying on top for the third consecutive week in Ladder Heroes. Nina, Peely, Cham, come on, somebody unseat him. Somebody unseat him for next week. Get on the ladder. The Exxon Cup Open. Team Exxon with, again, the greatest sponsor in all of StarCraft 2, tantalizing terrariums. This is cast by Winter and Steadfast. Vanya taking out Special 3-2 in that grand finals. Vanya putting up some big numbers here, and look at Vanya's run here over Starkiller to get to Special in that grand finals. Really well done. Really well done. Honorable mentions to Cham, Starkiller, Team Exxon fielding a really, really big pool of good players. The Alpha X Pro Series. I think we got about 3 of these show matches that Alpha X has put on this week. They are really cranking out the content. Time taking out Armani 5-1. Man, Time is a fierce force right now. Every tournament he's in, he is scary. Going to the semifinals, going to the finals, and of course in these show matches, doing a great job. So that was last Tuesday, the 10th, over on Africa.com, africatv.com/AlphaXSC2. Another Alpha X Pro Series last Sunday. Beyond edging out Rogue 5-4. Oh man. This is a great series. I caught a couple of these games and I thought, wow, I was like, well, Beyond's gonna win this, no problem. Rogue doing great, 4-5. Go check out the replays from that, guys. Obviously, one of the benefits of streaming on Africa TV as opposed to Twitch is that Africa's replays are available like instantly, automatically. So you can just go to the Alpha X SC2 page and it'll already be there. They don't have to upload or title or anything. So definitely worth checking out any best of 9 that goes to game 9. Gotta be worth it. And the Alpha X Series 28, featuring Dream and Armani. Dream winning 5-1. And this is over the Alpha X Series, is over on trovo.live/AlphaXSC2. Definitely go check it out. Dream, wow, just kind of handing it to Armani there. Wow. Can we point out how muscular Dream looks? Like, first of all, he looks like a friggin' model. And secondly, look at that. Look at the veins. Look at how vascular he is. That is a nerd who works out. And clearly it's working for him. 5-1 over Armani. Not bad at all. The end of the Alpha X Super Series, again, co-sponsored with the Into the Clan and Alpha X over on trovo.live with Into the TV and Alpha X SC2. Looks like that tournament has just wrapped itself up. Cure beating Creator 3-0, Beyond beating Ragnarok 3-2, and Beyond taking out Cure 4-1. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Beyond's back. Who's back? Beyond's back. Oh, he's back. The Africa World 66 with Falcon Paladin and Laughin' Games. Man, if you don't tune into Falcon and Laughin' Games, they are a great duo. Dong Regu 3-0 over Cure, Rogue 3-2 over Dream, and Dong Regu 4-2 over Rogue. Who said that Zergs aren't making it to enough grand finals? Nobody. Nobody's literally ever said that. Dong Regu really, really doing well here, taking out Rogue 4-2. Rogue getting some big L's this week, actually. Anyway, check out the Africa World. I'm sure Africa World 67 is probably on the calendar already by the time of this recording. The 2020 NA Apprentice, that's right, open for all NA players. This is the upper tier tournament with the NA Apprentice, while NA Contender is targeted toward Masters and below players. So you're going to see all the NA names you know and love here. Looks like Future, Patty Mac, Vindicta, and Dolan winning out in their first groups. Group C is going to be played tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, pardon me, that's CT. 1900 CT, not CST. Anyway, check out Group C, Asuna, Peely, and Prototype. And then Group D played the next day. Jon Snow, Nina, Starkiller, and Timorous. This is going to be insanely good. Go check it out on Twitch with Kozan and Beowulf casting this event. $400. Ah, that's great. The Wardy TV Invitational 11. Rogue, Zune, Beyond Dream, Rag, Patience, Trap, and Time. Moving on. The quarterfinals, I will say this event's semifinals have already finished up. It's not on our slide here, and I don't want to spoil it. So if you want to see how this went without spoiling yourself, head to Wardy's Twitch page. I'm sure he's already got that replay, that VOD up and going. But Ragnarok taking on Time, Beyond taking on Zound, Rogue taking on Dream, and Trap and Patience scrapping it out there. This is streamed by Wardy, Maddox, and Indy. Again, the semifinals are already ready to go for this event. I won't spoil it for you, but you can find out where those semifinals are by checking out Wardy's page or checking out the Liquipedia entry. Either way, it's going to be some great action as these players move on. Man, Wardy always puts on good stuff. SCV Rush Open, a weekly tournament organized by SCV Rush Cham, taking out Lilikaneen 3-1. A good run there from Lilikaneen, by the way. Look at that. Xiaomech, Forjumi, and then all the way up to Cham. And no cakewalk for Cham either. Poppy, a tough opponent there in the semifinals. The StarCraft 2 Chalmers Championship 2020, a very niche tournament here. I love seeing these small grassroots organizations. This is a small tournament for players at Chalmers University of Technology in, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce this, Swedish viewers, don't be too mad at me, Gothenburg, Sweden? That was awful. Ignore that. Anyway, very cool little collegiate StarCraft event with 16 players. Nice. Congrats, of course, to Zenith, who won 4-1 over Joman after EG Idra quit in the round of 4. Ha! Oh, Idra. The Demi SEA Weekly. Go Joey flexing his muscles again in one of these tournaments that's only open to residents of SEA in Australia. This happens every other week on Sunday evenings, KST. Congrats to Go Joey for another good win. Ooh, Bistork dropping out there in the round of 8 against Batty Azure, who put on a hell of a fight. The Moscow Cybersports Series 2020, Season 2. Group C, again, will be finished by the time you see this. I'm recording this segment a little bit earlier in the day. So already, Braddock, Milky Cow, Enigma, and the one of two imposters, Moja, a non-Russian player, sneaking in through in Group B. So Group C will be finished by the time you see this. We'll see if either Bassett, Exo Striker, Arctur, or Rhyme make it into those top 2 spots. And then Group D on November the 22nd, featuring Mindel, Yakov, Youngstar, and the other imposter, Happy Zerg. Love it. Following additional 12 quotas played after the first group stage. Morale Cup number 8. Spazzy Mazzy, Fighting Frog, Blue Cheese, and Marsman. Moving on. Man, I'd love to see a balanced tournament. A 2-1-1 distribution there in the semifinals. This will be a great one. Check this one out on Morale's Twitch page. Very cool stuff. This is one of those, by the way, the prize pool in the Morale Cup. I love it. Check the Wikipedia page for more info on how that's distributed. But basically, all the players get some money. So it's not like a big reward if you win, but it encourages just a bunch of people to sign up and play and do their best. Very cool stuff. Now, all right, now we got to talk Snockstar. This segment. Everybody else can tune out for a minute. This is just for Snockstar. Let me ASMR this up. Hang on. Let me turn on the music. Snockstar, buddy. If you organize your own event, it is really, really bad form to then just crush everyone who's in your own event. Snockstar, let me tell you a story. I used to be married, and one of the things that made my marriage go pretty poorly was that I went on vacation with my wife's family, and the place we went had a tennis court, and I hadn't played tennis in a long time, so I played my mother-in-law in tennis, and I beat her pretty badly. I didn't think I was still good at tennis, and I got fortunate with, it came back to me, I got some good luck, and I just crushed her, and as I walked off the court, everyone in my wife's family was watching me. And they were all like, Creighton, you've just made a young married man's classic mistake. Never beat your mother-in-law at any sport or game or anything. Terrible form. Snockstar, this is what you've just done. You've organized your own event and then just crushed it. Congrats to Snockstar, who defeated Hop, Poppy, and then Mozzie in the finals 4-1, cast by IndieK and Cycle. The Off-Race Invitational. His Protoss must be good, man. It must be good. The Starry Arena is back. This is a Chinese event. The Taiwanese event with Taiwanese players. And it looks, and some Vietnamese players as well, it looks like. And I just want to point out in this tournament, I'm not familiar with too many of these players. Obviously, some names that we know. Go Joey, Rex, Hui, Lemon. A couple of these folks that we know. But I will say, the best part about this tournament for me so far is the names of the teams, which look like they've been like translated kind of. One pour first. Some Hell Ramen Tonight. Yellow Turban. And 666 Hawaiian Pizza. Team names don't get much better than that, guys. They don't get much better than that. So this looks like it's going to be an advancement tournament where if you win, you move on. Seeding is finished up already. So day 6, Hell Ramen and Yellow Turban fell to 666 Hawaiian Pizza. Starry Arena. This will be good. The CSO Challenger, number 8, happening in a couple days here on the 21st. This one just finished up with Kuniu defeating JD Style. CSO, for those of you who don't know, is a South African esports organization, encouraging play in South Africa, if you will. Excited to see what CSO has in store for us in the future. And now we get on, once you're sick of humans playing StarCraft, if you're a fan of machines playing StarCraft, there has never been a better time for you. The Probots Season 3 has just started their lower bracket rounds. The winner bracket has already finished up, or has already moved on past their first round. We've got Anybot beating Sprouch, Blinkerbot beating Mad AI, Fidolina beating Tier, and I'm a little bit sad when 2 of my favorite bots come up against each other in the losers bracket. 3-Way Lover defeating Doogie Howitzer. Oh man, and you can see, of course, some wacky strategies being used here. Mass Widow Mines, Pro Brushes. It's worth, even if you're not like way into AI, it's always worth checking out these AI, the bot tournaments. They're so interesting. This is cast on youtube.com/ESChamp, so check that out. The Magikarp Masters Cup number 15. Oh, I guess we're gonna get the rest of the AI bot things here in a bit. There are 2 more AI bot competitions this week as well. Exciting stuff. The Magikarp Masters, bronze to 4900 MMR, brought to you by the Maple Dominion. It's casted, of course, by Captain Canuck on Twitch. Fletch, remember the game, taking that $10 first prize, and Lasercat, grabbing number 2. Love Lasercat. The IndieK Trovo Weekly, featuring players from the IndieK crew. Christianer defeating Blue Cheese 4-1 in that best of 7 finals. Note that Blue Cheese took out Starkiller in the semifinals. Looks like the scores might not be right there. I'm guessing Skillless Christianer was a 3-1 in the opposite direction. But anyway, Christianer Blue Cheese, very cool. Yeah, looks like both the scores in the semifinals are backwards, I think. Ugh. Anyway, congrats to Christianer for winning the IndieK Trovo Weekly, cast of course over on Trovo. The Alpha X StarCraft 2 Team League Season 7. We got a bit of a Snockstar situation here where Alpha X starts a team league and then wins all of their games. Alpha X Latin America and the Alpha X main team winning every single series except for, of course, the one where they play each other. So bad form to win your own tournament, but congratulations to them for doing so well so far. Obviously, some huge teams in this as well. Risen from the Remember the Game, Exxon, Risen from the Gosu, just E-Punks, Harbingers, all the big names. Great teams here in the Alpha X Team League. Really looking forward to seeing that as well. You can tune in. I'm actually not sure where this one's cast, but check it out on Wikipedia, and you can learn even more about it. This is going to be a great tournament. The Super Tourney. It's for Polish players, and again, if I try and pronounce the actual name of the tournament, Polish Twitch chat is going to absolutely destroy me. So just spam some Polish flags in Twitch chat instead, and we'll pretend like I said that first word correctly. Soul, Mana, Christianer, and Art. Moving on, tons of Protoss here in the semifinals. That semifinal's coming up very shortly, so be sure to tune in. Cast by Zed and streamed by NetWars. The Singapore SC2 Online 2v2. This is a big tournament, $100 again, organized by Red Gunner Guy, sort of the premier tournament organizer in Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, that SEA region. 2v2 tournament. Looks like Miomika and Nefarious, who are Nazi Filumek, winning that finals 3-0. In fact, did they drop a single? No, they didn't. Didn't drop a single map the entire tournament. What a power couple. Miomika and Nefarious winning that series 3-0. The winner, I'll buy you dinner tournament. I'm trying to be polite. This is a family show. We're trying to keep it, keep it classy. Goblin taking out Trigger 4-0. So Goblin winning some dinner. Coming hard, playing hungry. Or coming hungry, playing hard, and winning food. The Pizza Pie bi-weekly, of course. The original Will Play StarCraft for Food tournament. I feel like the trophy for this should just be a guy holding a piece of cardboard that says Will Play StarCraft for Food. And if not, somebody Photoshop that up, post it on Reddit, make big money. Starkiller made it through, got dropped out in the round of 8 there. Looks like he may have just had a bye, so Geralt gets the walkover win there. But Starkiller not a factor, the usual winner of the Pizza Pie bi-weekly. And it looks like Max Pax is going to win his first pizza of the day, or of the tournament, 3-0 over Nina. Sorry, I'm very distracted with the pizzas here. I'm a little hungry this morning, and just having food on the screen for 2 slides in a row, it's messing my brain up. Every other Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, the prize pool is $80 and a pizza. So good wins for Max Pax there. We'll hopefully see him again, and he can move himself up out of that number 1 column and into the number 2 column to join Caleb, McMonroe, Orion Massa, and Special with his second pizza here in a couple weeks. Another Some Drunk Canadian presentation of the Cascadia Cup Weekly, a $100 tournament, which is going to be played tomorrow, November 19th. So go sign up now. Again, if you check the show notes, thepylonshow.com, and then just click on that show notes icon, you can check out the exact slideshow I'm going through right now. And there's a little link on the bottom to the challenge page where you can register for this event. Sentimiento Latino. The Latin American tournament number 98 will be played in 2 days on Friday. So sign up for that one now if you're a Latin American resident and you have not made the round of 16 at a WCS Circuit or ESL Pro Tour event. If your name is Cham Kelliger or Special, you're not invited. This is cast, of course, by the Cranky Ducklings crew, in Spanish by Grizzly, and in Portuguese by Cosmos. So check it out. The Free Ton League, which is either a joke about my weight or what they would say if I were Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It would be free ton, free ton, free ton. Passing out those flyers if I was skipping school, but there's no way I could skip school and be that cool. The Free Ton League is a great tournament. We've done it they've done 25 tournaments so far. They've given out over 400,000 rubles in prize money through the Ton Crystals cryptocurrency. So if you want to win some obscure cryptocurrency, the Free Ton League is your place to do it. Beginning on November the 20th, 16 insanely good players. I mean, look at this lineup. Arctur, Cass, Hellraiser, Braddock, Vanya, Damaga, Zipper, Moja, Skillis, Lai, Kugwar, all the big names there in Poland, Russia, and for some reason Moja keeps sneaking into these Russian tournaments. The Alpha X Junior Championships Season 11 starts on Saturday. An 8-player GSL tournament with players who are 15 years or younger who cannot yet compete in the ESL circuit. This is cast by Rushy, Hydras, and Colossus. Arash Fire and Ghosty back again to reclaim their titles. Arash Fire was first place in Season 10. Ghosty got that second place finish, so we'll see who comes out on top. These are always insanely good tournaments. I think all of these players are GM level players, and they're 15 years or younger. Literally less than half my age, and they've already accomplished more in StarCraft than I will ever be able to. Just take a moment to pause in self-reflection. Whew. Legacy Weekly Japan returns on Sunday. If you speak, read, write Japanese and have Japanese nationality, sign up for Legacy Weekly Japan. Always some good stuff out of a very underserved scene, the Japanese StarCraft scene. Be back next week. And of course, the big news continues. Asus Raj is getting closer and closer. The qualifiers, I believe, start on Friday. Let me check my calendar here to make sure. But yeah, the calendar, yes, they do. The qualifiers start on Friday with the EU qualifiers on Friday, the Korea qualifiers on Saturday, and the NA qualifiers on Sunday. So if you want to sign up for the Asus Raj qualifiers, now is the time. That main tournament going to be happening the 27th through the 29th. The GSL Super Tournament 2 going to be happening on December 2nd at 5 o'clock p.m. KST. Super Tournament, always an amazing thing. Of course, brought to you by Tasteless and Artosis. That's going to be fantastic. I've had a couple of people ask me if the qualifiers will be streamed for the Super Tournament. I have reached out to GSL, and they've let me know that unfortunately they won't be able to get a qualifiers replay pack sent to me in time this time around. So sadly, we won't be able to do the GSL qualifiers for the Super Tournament, but I'm sure we'll be back with the GSL Season 1 next year. Anyway, the Super Tournament starts December 2nd. If you're not tuning into this, you call yourself a StarCraft fan, get out of here. Platinum Heroes Season 7. Again, the dates on this splash screen are wrong. It's not going to start this Saturday. It is going to start in December. So be sure to check the Liquipedia page, the challenge page, and keep up on Twitter to see when this Platinum Heroes tournament will be. Anyone who is Platinum or below can sign up. Bronze 3 to Platinum 1, $100, and cast by a very handsome, very talented caster. Check it out. The StarCraft 2 Royal from Raise Your Edge Gaming. Let's see, this is a really interesting team-based tournament, a squad-based tournament with squads of 3 players each. So if you haven't registered as a squad yet, registration cuts off on Monday at 12 o'clock noon Central Standard Time. I think that's 6 o'clock, give or take, GMT. So sign up your squad, message me directly on Discord, find me on Twitter, wherever, if you want to sign up your squad. It's going to be insane. I will go ahead and release some never-before-released information. We have already over 16 squads, so we're going to have a round of 32 in the main tournament, and I expect a couple more squads to roll in. A lot of big names have already signed up. A lot of smaller names have signed up as well. Of course, a team tournament means everybody's got a good chance of going through. The prize pool, just under $3,000. Please contact me immediately to sign up. It doesn't begin on December 2nd. There is a 2 versus 2 qualifier stage, or seeding stage rather, next Wednesday, starting up soon. And again, I will say, Pylon Show folks, you could have used this picture. You could have used this picture and you chose not to. You got no excuse. The Team Liquid Star League. Look, this might be, okay, bad joke alert, get ready. This might be 6 days of action, but I think day 9 is the most exciting part. Hey! Obviously, the big announcement this week is that day 9, Sean, the fucking Giga Nerd Chad himself, will be returning to cast a day of this event, joining the squad to cover all these series. Should be just tip-top level StarCraft. Mark your calendar with pen, with Sharpie, with never come off until you're dead, and maybe even later markers, because this is going to be great. 3 weekends in December, EPT points, tons of prize money, and again, they better have cute animations or I'm going to riot. The DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters 2020 has announced one more tournament in their series, the Last Chance event on January 12th, 2021, giving those players one last opportunity to qualify in, to earn one of those qualifying spots to IEM Katowice. No Gamer Left Behind. This is a really cool tournament where celebrity players choose one handicap to play with, and then they play against sort of average Joes. Check this one out on twitch.tv/daw_station. The tournament is January 22nd through the 24th, so still plenty of time to get yourself up for that cash prize. And ooh, first place gives a plaque away as well. Very cool. Very cool. The College Star League Fall Competition. If you are a full-time college student and you want to prove your parents wrong by earning money and paying for college by playing video games, now is your chance. Check out the announcement link below, and that'll give you all the info you need to register for this very, very cool event. And the last StarCraft announcement is not a tournament at all, but our very own Pig. After 10 years with his partner, he is married. And we have, it looks like, stock image of, I'm pretty sure it looks like the Pylon Show just Googled generically attractive humans and put that in the side. I don't know who those people are in the photo. Clearly models of some kind. I don't know why we're using that for Pig's announcement photo. Pylon Show team, if you want to let us know, maybe we can get a shot of Pig in there. But whoever that is, he's a handsome fella, and he's marrying a beautiful girl. Congrats, of course, to Pig and his wife. We move now from StarCraft 2 to Brood War, and speaking of attractive people, woo, Flash and Rush making it look good as we start Brood War. The Brood War G's Weekly. I made this joke last week, but it's good enough to make again. The only tournament brought to you by Morty from Rick and Morty. Ah, jeez. 94, DeWalt beats Bonneth 1-0. This is a best of one single elimination tournament. Absolutely crazy. Congrats to DeWalt, who took out Bonneth 1-0. The Caster Muse Nadok Star League Season 3. This is for all the players who didn't make it into the Afrika Star League. This is organized and casted by Caster Muse. 3 million Korean won. That's 2750 USD, give or take. And Piano beating Hyuk 4-0. I believe we had this result last week as well. Turf Wars, sponsored by Rogues Gallery, and it finally happened. I don't want to say that I'm psychic. I don't want to say that I'm a crystal ball reader. I don't want to say that I'm an empath. But I do want to say, Clown Killers and Killer Clowns facing off is the greatest teams. I mean, we had that like 666 Hawaiian pizza earlier. Not as good as Killer Clowns versus Clown Killers. Killer Clowns defeating the Clown Killers. So the tides have turned. Congrats to Gypsy, Raz, Machine, and Red Duck for their little win there in the first series. You can check this out on twitch.tv/RoguesGalleryBW. The Rookie Star League Season 5 is on its way. A group stage, thanks. It's a little bit hard to fit onto one slide. But the Rookie Star League, specifically for new players with a 1350 MMR cap. So if you're under 1350 MMR and you want to play in a cool league, reach out to Least. You can join their Discord server by clicking on the link below in the show notes. AIIDI, these are the bots we're talking about. Cast and organized by Dave Churchill. I will say that the bot names in this tournament are not as good as Doogie Howitzer and Three-Way Lover. Banana Brain, McRave, Steam Hammer, Eggbot. All right, we're getting better. Anyway, you can see these players, these AI players, and their wins and losses. Looks like things going really well for Stardust, Purple Wave, and Banana Brain. Very cool stuff here. You can check that out. Again, the Twitch links, the Discord links, everything below on the show notes. So do check out the show notes and learn more about the AIIDI. Stardust has won this one over the previous champ, Purple Wave. SSC AI tournament is into week 190 now. They've been going for ages. This is cast every week by Chobo, Swaggins, and Nightcat. Krazio this week defeating Arkhammer and Cinders in some good replays. Again, you can check it out, twitch.tv/SSKateCAIT. The Russian Cyber Cup 2020 is a return to human players. The continuation of the Corrupted Cup with all the big name players. November 28th and 29th will be the group stages. And then December 5th and 6th, round of 8 grand finals. All of this over on Twitch. Go check out the English, Russian, Spanish, and Korean casts in the show notes. 10 grand prize pool, 15 grand prize pool. Insane. The Shinhan Tank Pro League is back. Week 1 play date is November 22nd. The teams are set, the players are set. So come on and join them. The Twitch link's down below. And that does it for this week in StarCraft. A bit of a longer segment this week, but hey, longer this week in StarCraft just means more stuff happening in StarCraft. Thanks so much for sticking with me, guys, and I'll see you again next week to tell you what's been going on in This Week in StarCraft.